Welcome to the Clear Shots Podcast with Seth Skinner and Jake Jones.
Hey guys, it's Seth from Clear Shots, and today you're listening to episode 76 with our friend Aaron. Clear Shots is sponsored by Anchor. When I was trying to start this podcast, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show onto all the apps everyone listens on? How do I make money from the podcast? And the answer to all those questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free. It's ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. This means you can get paid to podcast right away. Their mobile app is super cool. You can record, edit, and post your podcast directly from your phone. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/START. That's anchor.fm/start.
Don't give them clear shot. Don't give them clear shot. Don't give them clear shot. Don't give them clear shot.
I was going to say, just because even growing up, they always had shows that, like...
Welcome. Welcome to the Clear Shots Pod. We're in the middle of a conversation,
Hey.
so we're trying to, start it, naturally.
Yeah.
But welcome to the Clear Shots Podcast. I'm Seth Skinner.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Aaron Berlin.
Yeah, he hasn't been on the show in a while, so...
It's been almost a year.
Yeah, I think
so,
I
yeah.
actually just looked at it because I was doing some stuff on the site, and it was episode 26 or something like
That's
that.
fucking...
Holy crap.
That was 50 episodes
And this
ago.
is, 76?
Yup.
So, yeah.
That's insane.
That's crazy, because I feel like... Maybe it's because you and I hang out so often,
right.
and I feel like you've been on the show multiple
Right.
times, and you've only been on once.
No, I thought twice.
Yeah, maybe 3 times. I don't even know.
Yeah, I definitely know
It's
I've
at
been
least
on
twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
Mark's only been on once.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
But he was on 30 something, so he was
Yeah.
a little while after. I was looking at it, I was who's the person that we haven't had on in the longest, and it was him, so.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, because we've definitely done casts. We have Bill on, every month. Bill is a staple.
Bill might have the most appearances.
He definitely
I
does.
think he does by one. I think Brian's right behind him because we had Brian on a lot when we started out.
Yeah.
He was kind of he was.
We also had Cass on a lot because we had Cass on for his,
he did,
his cross-country trip, and then
Yeah.
we had Cass on 2 more times after, 3 more times
I mean,
after.
really, those could have been 4 podcasts because they were long as shit.
Yeah. Yeah, the one episode we did with him was literally over 3 hours long.
It was all, it was 4 parts.
Yeah. So it was over 4 hours long.
It was
Yeah,
fucking
we
long.
started at 1 in the afternoon, and then that's when Cass and I started hanging out a lot more.
Yeah.
And we didn't leave here until 9. Because after each part, we took a half hour or so
Right.
break.
Oh, by the way, the audio for the last episode was not good because we had the air conditioner on, so it is now off, and we might get hot.
Yeah.
So,
Just a little sweaty.
That's what the Jaegers is for.
I think it'll
Oh, yeah.
last. We'll be
Well,
good.
also, and I'm not trying to throw Josh under the bus, but I'm
Oh,
going
and
to next time I see him.
we got our headphones fixed too.
We got our headphones fixed.
Okay.
But Josh was he's very criminal in not being near his microphone at all. Because
it was more like a room mic for
every
him.
time
It was-
every time he laughed, he would recoil.
Right.
yeah, but he laughs loud. I mean, there's guys that laugh loud,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you got to move back sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, he usually
You got to understand the dynamics.
Yeah, I know.
But we also didn't have headphones, so
we also didn't have headphones on, so
Right.
we couldn't
Another-
really tell.
that always
But, yeah.
sucks.
Oh, anyway, so we were talking about HBO.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So we were talking about.
we were talking about big budget, Netflix and HBO, when they make their own
Yeah.
content and stuff.
Well, the first argument what I made, and you guys agreed, was that Trailer Park Boys helped build Netflix to what it is.
sure.
Definitely.
And I think my
There was another show on there. I think Sunny was pretty big, because Sunny was on
Sonny
there
was
Yeah.
on there too.
at the time.
And so was all of the. You say what you want about Seth MacFarlane, but all of his shows were on there too.
Right. It had that 70s show still.
Yep.
It
wow.
was
And
that
then
pretty big.
South Park was on there.
It
when
used to be, yeah.
when Netflix was first a thing.
It didn't have all the seasons like Hulu does.
No,
but
it had
Right.
the first 10,
Like
or
a good
something.
chunk of
and the movie. But I remember knowing so many people in high school and even like other family members, and I was at Taekwondo at the time, and all people would talk about was Trailer Park Boys for a solid like 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
Dude,
like,
yeah.
As soon as I don't remember who the first person that showed it to me was. I think it was.
I know for a fact it was Dave Reed that showed it to me.
I think it was like Connor
because he was
Wolf or
obsessed.
somebody.
He was obsessed with Cyrus.
Yeah,
Because Cyrus is probably the best character.
it was Connor's dad.
Right.
Because Connor's dad actually had like the
Everybody's dad.
first 2 seasons on DVD, and then it went to Netflix, and they watched the whole series. And
I actually remember how I found out about Trailer Park Boys. I think he was either a grade above you or the same grade as you, but there was a kid that Ben McElroy used to hang out with, and he used to call him J-Rock. And I was just like...
J to the ROC.
Yeah, I was just
might have been
like...
Josh.
I think he works at the barber shop now.
Joe
Good
Montana.
guys.
Yeah. I can't
Oh,
think...
John. No, it wasn't John.
He's tall. That's all I know. He's a tall, doofy looking...
Oh, Dave.
Yeah, shout out to Dave, the tall,
Dave
looking
Williams.
guy. Yeah.
Dude,
Oh,
no,
I know
yeah,
that kid,
because
yeah.
that's why I got so confused. I was like,
Yeah.
his name's Dave.
Yeah,
Why would
yeah.
you call him J-Rock?
Because I think
So I looked it up, and then of course, like the first thing that comes up is like all the clips of him
Yeah.
in the earlier seasons.
Yeah, I think I remember Dave. Like, you didn't make fun of Dave because he was bigger than everybody, and he was also a really nice guy. But I think he like tried being a rapper or something once, and I think that's how Ben kind of poked the bear. You know,
Oh, I don't know, probably.
Dave's a cool guy though. He used to.
Yo, he's always been
he
nice
played
to me.
basketball with us a couple times. He actually lives in my old neighborhood.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we were talking about Game of Thrones.
Which sucks
You don't like it for whatever reason.
because
And-
it's the lamest form of like visual fantasy art. It's just lame.
Yeah, it's lame.
It's like Stranger Things normalizing all of like the geeky shit that we used to get made fun of in like high school, middle school, and now everyone's just like, yeah, D&D is cool, and it's just like,
but
Dude,
I
they
think
do that stuff too, though. Even the Marvel movies got like...
that's why I don't like the
Oh,
Marvel
yeah.
movies. So I guess I can empathize with what
Right.
you're saying. But I think Game of Thrones is like, it just so happens to be fantasy. That's what it feels like.
Right.
It's like the lowest form of. Well, is that what you just said?
Kind of.
It is. It's like
And
people put it in the realm of like Lord of the Rings and stuff, or when it's closer to like the Civil War era.
right. And I mean, so
basically a Civil War show.
I didn't watch a lot of the show. I watched the whole last season because of the hype for it.
Yeah.
And my brother watched it with me. So I was, basically going in not knowing shit other than like watching a few of the other season finales. And I don't know who exactly said it, but I know one of the producers or writers for the show was like, oh, the battle scenes in the end of the Game of Thrones is going to literally top all the battle scenes in Lord of the Rings, especially in Two Towers. And I was like, you got my attention.
That's false.
Exactly.
Oh no!
So, like,
dude.
I watched all the episodes for that final season, was super disappointed, and yeah, it's just lame.
I think it would be like, that's the thing is like, I feel like that's a show where like you have to have years of investment into the characters.
Well,
like
I also,
Walking Dead.
I read the
Yeah.
books too.
Oh, I'm not gonna do that.
I'm never watching
But the
that
thing
either.
is with Game of Thrones is that the first like 4 seasons before there were 2 things that happened. They caught up to the books.
That was
Right.
it? There was only 2 things that happened in it?
Basically,
There were 2 things that happened. The screenplay caught up with the books, so
Right.
they didn't have something to go on because the books are fucking phenomenal.
Right.
And then they basically stopped taking all of George R.R. Martin's advice because they wanted to do their own thing. Because they
Right.
felt like they were doing it better than he did, which is a fucking lie. But what I loved about it, the first 4 seasons, even the 5th season was all right, was the political intrigue part of it.
right.
There was like maybe one big battle a season, and that maybe lasted 20 minutes or so.
Right.
But a lot of it was just based on how all these characters interacted with each other.
Yeah.
And then like every season there's like, oh, this family is going to come into play that we've heard all
This
this.
character's gonna die.
This character's
Like,
gonna die.
That's how I felt about it. Was like it was a lot of building characters and then
Killing them all
picking and
away.
choosing who they were gonna take away
Yeah.
to grab people.
And that was a definitely big part of it. I mean, I remember we were doing death pools, like my dad and I, when we first started watching it, would like kind of bet on who was going to die.
Right.
Certain episodes, certain seasons.
Who's gonna die?
Yeah. The last. Oh, go ahead.
The one thing I'm going to suggest, because you mentioned that you like the political side of Game of Thrones, if you want to read a really good fantasy trilogy, David Eddings' Millennium series, I probably butchered the name of it. If you just look up Sparhawk by David Eddings, there's 2 trilogies with that character, but it's really cool. Like the magical element in the book is kind of a little subdued, so when something crazy happens, it's like really crazy and bizarro. But like the whole story is he's trying to get this freaking crystal rose so he can unlock this princess that's trapped in like a glass like prism, and he has to fucking fight these troll gods and shit, and it's pretty fucking cool.
It's a troll god classic is what it really
somebody
is.
has talked about. You probably mentioned it to me once before in one of our nights of binge drinking.
Most likely.
But yeah,
then, everything comes out when
yeah. And then we were talking. This is all catching up before we started, before the clap.
Which clap?
What are we catching up? Oh yeah, there was like a bunch of claps.
HBO. For some reason, like people were freaking out. Oh, Game of Thrones is over. HBO is gonna die. First off, it's not gonna happen.
Aren't they doing like a spin-off too?
Yeah,
I think they're doing multiple.
Yeah, that's something I'm not excited for at all.
It's like hell. Harry Potter didn't even really do that, did they?
No.
But I think they are doing a new movie based on the new book that came out like a year or 2 ago.
Yeah. What was Fantastic Beasts?
It was a spin-off.
Yeah,
that was in that.
Yeah, because that was I had that book actually, and it was like a not a glossary, but like a bestiary. Is that the word you're looking for?
Yep.
And it's kind of like the SCP Foundation, if you know what that is, where it's like it has a picture of the monster.
Oh, so it's like my Pokemon book when I was young. And
literally that's what it is.
Yeah.
Has a picture of the monster and then what it does and then what books it's in and that's then cool. Like a little short story about it.
That's cool.
And I don't know. I don't like Harry Potter that much. I find that to be the worst fantasy series just because not the worst isn't it's worse isn't the hype, I guess.
Right.
Like they're good books.
I don't know.
For kids.
I tried reading literally the first book like 5 different times between, I don't know, like 4th grade and all the way when I graduated high school. I just couldn't get through it.
Yeah, I never read the books. I didn't mind some of the movies though. Like Sorcerer's Stone was decent just because it was the first one.
There's a lot of cool visuals and stuff in the movies.
Yeah,
and I'm
that's
certain
what I mean.
they sound or they read off a lot cooler in the books.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job of like appealing to like a pretty wide audience.
Yeah, and it was like, basically like kids that dreamed about being a wizard because they were like, "Oh, this little kid in 1920s England can do it." It's like, no, he can't. True. It's a book, but yeah.
Well, if he runs fast enough at a wall, he'll go right through it.
Actually, I have an extremely petty reason why I don't like Harry Potter. So you probably know. Cass knows. I love Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is my fucking. I don't like it as much as Cass does, but I love Lord of the Rings, and my little sister likes Harry Potter. And for some reason growing up, it was always just Harry Potter. We're gonna go see all the Harry Potter movies. We're gonna go to Universal and spend 2 days at Harry Potter World. We're gonna get all the Harry Potter
Lord
merchandise.
Of the Rings World. They don't have Lord
of the Rings World.
They don't.
But
I mean, you can go to New Zealand and check out the Hobbiton.
I was just gonna say that
they should, though.
But it's like my little. This was the last straw for me, and I remember being really, really upset about it. I always wanted to sit down with my parents and Monique, because she likes Lord of the Rings a little bit too, and like just watch all 3 movies. Right. Which would be a day, Yeah. And they're like, no, we can't do it. They're boring, yada, yada, yada. They got, like, my mom and Monique made it through like an hour of Fellowship, and they're like, we're not doing this. And then I remember
they're long. They're definitely long movies.
Yeah. I remember I went to Wes's over like winter break or Christmas break or something, and I came back the next day. All the lights were off and the surround sound was on, and I just hear British people talking. And I walk in and there's just tons of food and soda and shit, and they're sitting on the couch and they're binge watching Harry Potter's 1 through 7. And I was like, really? You're gonna spend more time watching worse movies? Fuck off.
It's how it is.
Fuck Harry Potter, dude.
I won't lie.
I'm glad all their careers are dead. And I'm glad J.K. Rowling is a joke.
I mean, I like Emma Watson. I'm just not gonna lie about that.
Would you suck on her toes if she asked you to?
Fuck yes.
I totally would too. I would do it if she told me not to. Like if I was hooking up with Emma Watson,
or if she didn't say anything at all.
yeah, and we're just like, you know, like we're like cuddling on the couch, and this is how it would play out. She'd be like, "I gotta take a shower. It's really hot in here." I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, the AC's in my bedroom." Yeah. And then she'd yell. She'd go, "Jake, dear, how do you operate your shower? Because it's fucking complicated."
I don't know that she'd say dear, but
I think.
And I would walk in, and she'd just be
took
naked.
me out of it.
And you'd pour your sweat all
And
over.
I would just start licking all the sweat off her, usually, yeah.
Right.
And I'd be like, "Can I offer you a Vlasic kosher dill spear?" But then things would get hot and heavy, you know, and I'd, you know, bring her to my bed. And then, like, we'd start fooling around, and I'd get lower and lower, and then she'd be like, "Oh, finally, he's gonna eat me out." But then I would keep going lower.
When you
When you get to the
and
knees,
get to her toes.
you get to the knees, and she's a little confused.
She's just like,
"Wait,
"What's going on?" I'm like 75% off the bed at this point, like
Right, yeah.
propped up on like a Bible, trying to get the right position.
Right.
And then she goes, "Wait, no!" And then pop the big toe in. What are you gonna do?
Right.
I mean,
What are you gonna do?
nothing.
Nothing. You're just
It's
gonna let
already-
me suck on your toes for a bit.
Yeah, it's already in
You
there.
know,
Yeah.
I can't get me too'd because that would get laughed out of court. He sucked on your toes? Fuck off, man.
Yeah, I've never heard that one. I've never heard that one go up the ladder.
No. Speaking of Me Too, did you guys hear about Kevin Spacey?
No.
The case was thrown out of court. They found out that the accuser had actually, if I fuck up, I'm sorry. They said he doctored text messages and also deleted text messages. And then also when they were asking him about it, he pled the fifth. They're like, why were you citing all these text messages in your affidavit, but you don't have them on hand, but you have all these other ones? Wow. You know, the most incriminating messages that he said he had on his phone inconspicuously were gone. He's like, I plead the fifth. So then they were like, "Oh, well,
what can you do at that
you're not
point?
going to testify for yourself."
But there's a really fucked up video that Kevin Spacey himself posted
Oh, yeah.
on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And, okay, you can't post that video.
And be innocent.
And
I didn't see it. What was it?
Dude, do you have YouTube up? Dude, yeah, pull it up.
I don't know if it's copyrighted or not, but we can try. Does it
It's
have music in it?
concerning.
Dude, it is. Like, you wouldn't even have to watch the whole thing. Like,
But yeah, I'm not saying that he didn't do it, but I am saying that the case got thrown out.
Right.
Because...
Oh, but dude, he could easily pay out of it. Like, that's kind of the
well,
fucked up
they
thing.
even threw out the civil suit, so it was the criminal suit that also got thrown out.
Right.
Because for some reason the kid just doesn't want to testify, and like my first thought was, well, yeah, so they're throwing the case out because he's going to pay out of court, and then I saw it was a criminal case, and I was like, wait a minute, you can't do that. That's not how that
Is
works.
it let me be frank?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not gonna play it because I don't know if he has. Well, you think we can play it?
I don't know. Fair use, probably, if we're
I
commentating
imagine.
on it. It's got to be fair use.
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge... I mean, like I said, we don't have to watch the whole thing. It's pretty fucked up, though.
I didn't know he had a YouTube page.
Me neither.
I wish he didn't.
Just for this video. I
So
wish he
he's
did.
washing his hands. He's looking at the camera.
I know what you want. Oh, sure, they may have tried to separate us, but what we have is too strong.
I think I've seen bits and pieces of this.
Oh, I'm certain you have.
Everything, you and I told you my deepest, darkest secrets. I showed you exactly what people are capable of. I shocked you with
Now
my
you wonder
honesty,
though,
but mostly I
like, is he in character? Like,
Yeah, he's playing as Frank Underwood from House
okay,
of Cards.
that makes sense. Because I
Doubt
was gonna
it.
say, like, it's
He's
No,
playing
but
as
that's how he
himself.
is all the time, though.
Right.
Because, like, yeah,
We're not done.
right. Maybe
I
Frank
want
Underwood
to say,
is it like just him amplified.
Yeah.
basically.
I know what you want.
I've seen like half of the first season of that show. What's it called?
House of Cards.
House of Cards.
They've
Yeah.
been waiting with bated breath to hear me confess it all. They're just dying to have me declare that everything said is true and that I got what I deserved. Wouldn't that be easy? If it was all so simple. Only you and I both know it's never that simple, not in politics and not in life. But you wouldn't
Yeah.
believe the worst without evidence, would you? You wouldn't rush to judgments without facts, would you? Did you?
Did you?
No, not you. You're smarter than that. Anyway, all this presumption made for such an unsatisfying...
Well, he's kind of right. I mean, people did just run to that judgment, and they always do.
The thing that's concerning is that he's in character. Like, why is he playing? Why can't he just be Kevin? And that brings you to the point you made. It's like that's how he is all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, and I don't know. I'm not going to jump to conclusions like he said, but it definitely smells like a Bill Cosby thing.
Yeah.
You know?
There's like 11 or 12 other people that accused him of the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. He looks like he does some weird shit. You know?
Oh yeah. I mean, and that was like the thing with like Louis C.K. Like when all that shit came out about him like exposing himself to other like female comedians and like harassing them to give him a blowjob and shit like that. It's like, haven't you watched his show or seen his comedy? Like,
no kidding.
I wouldn't. That shit I would like. I would actually totally expect him to do. Not saying that I condone it.
Yeah.
But the dude's kind of a piece of shit.
Right.
Like
the thing that bothered me the most with the Louis
even
thing,
his show, like even Louis was like his character was like that anyway.
Yeah.
The thing that got me the most with that was that they said and there's people that are gonna be like, well, of course they said they gave him consent to, you know, but it's like a lot of from what I remember reading was that like 4 or 5 of the women that even Sarah Silverman, because he did it to Sarah Silverman.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, go ahead, jerk off in front of me. But then like down the road they're like, hey, that made me uncomfortable. It's like, yeah, no shit. Louis C.K. masturbated in front of you.
Well,
why did you let him?
Don't say yeah. First of all, don't say yes. Like, and first of all, the first person that says yes is gonna trigger everyone else to go, oh, I can jump on this train. Like, I think that happens a lot. Like, there's a lot of piling on.
Enabling. Like, you're like the few that did tell like Louis C.K. be like, yeah, sure, why not do that?
Yeah,
like that enables him to be like, well,
more.
Other people are okay with my raunchy humor. I'm gonna just surprise them with it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, not everyone's cool with that, man.
No,
Definitely not cool with a big albino guy, ginger just jerking off.
Yeah. I wonder if like dick size has a lot to do with how upset they get. You know what I mean? Like
Probably.
if it's like a
Would
tiny
they be
one,
more
like
upset if it was gigantic or if it was wicked tiny?
no, I think they'd be more pissed.
I
If
think
it was
it'd
a
be
little
both
one.
ways.
If they were
Like-
doing like the 2 finger thing, then they'd get pissed probably because
But like if he just pulled out this fucking
Anaconda.
Anaconda, yeah.
yeah,
Boom.
he pulls out a traffic cone.
Yeah.
It's breathing like
He uses
Yeah, it has its
pulls out
own
the
pulse.
traffic cone and jerks off his anaconda with it.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way he can do that. There's no fleshlight big enough for his anaconda cock.
No, there isn't. He'd have to get a custom one. Yeah, they have to be custom ones, right? Because they're usually built for like average size, I would imagine.
Yeah.
wait,
well,
traffic cones?
No, those fleshlight things.
But I'm certain you could take a traffic cone and just make it into a fleshlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus it's got a hole at the other end, so you could just shoot your jizz out. It's not like stored in there.
And then it's
It
amplified
isn't?
too.
I always wondered about the cleaning of those things.
No, yeah, you just fucking splooge in them, and then you have to put it in the washing machine or
Yeah.
some shit, dishwasher.
I think they said something about like you're supposed to run it under like hot water for like fucking 15 minutes or some shit before you use it.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
I wanted to buy one, and there was one that you have that's you can get that has a suction cup on it that you can have in your shower.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
what you do is you literally just like keep it in the shower and
It's just mounted to the
Yeah,
shaft.
yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, they have the Avatar one, the blue one too.
Wow.
It's just a
I
blue
actually
vagina.
an old coworker of mine has.
You
the
can get
Avatar
the
one.
mouth ones. You can
Yeah.
get the butthole ones.
Yep. My
And they
buddy
have
Dan
vagina
has
ones.
The butthole one.
I was gonna say, now they have ones where you can literally get the orifices of your favorite porn star.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Orify, yeah.
Yeah, so it's literally
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
ass
dude.
and vag.
They, like, they,
That is
mold
so
those out.
sketchy, honestly, because
Right.
it's like they actually do like a plaster mold
Yeah.
of what the vagina looks like.
That's hilarious.
No, not just what it looks like. They go in.
Well, I was gonna keep going. Then they do like some other thing.
like a terrain,
Yeah, yeah.
like examination.
I actually am curious about what the molding process is for
Yeah,
that. You
I know.
know,
Yeah,
like a
it's-
silicone molding process.
Paper mache.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys
I don't know
slapping
about that.
plaster and newspaper on a
Yeah.
pussy.
Yeah,
get that glue and paste mix. You know,
yeah. It's definitely pasty. There's definitely some pasty stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Don't move
The next
for
day
the next fucking hour and a half.
They do a porn shoot and the guy slips in and he's like, "Oh, what is that?" And she just pulls out like a chunk of clay,
Yeah.
like her pussy was like a kiln.
Oh yeah, I did a fleshlight thing the other day. Don't worry about it.
Fucking
all good.
plaster of Paris coming out of her fucking asshole.
It's like,
Yeah, I wonder how much they get paid for that. They have to have like a full blown sponsorship for
Oh
those.
yeah.
It's lucrative, right? I mean, they're probably making a ton of money. It's like this
porn stars
bathwater
do
thing, though.
like dudes do that with their dicks. You can get a dildo that's like Mandingo's.
Yeah, yeah.
dick
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff
I'm certain
like
you
that.
can probably get Peter North's fucking cock. You know.
I wonder if you can get Louis C.K.'s.
Oh.
That's what he should have done.
Oh
immediately
man,
after.
he definitely should have, dude.
It's only this. It's just a thumb.
I would get that just to like have it, you know?
They're like, what is that? Oh, it's a replica of Louis C.K.'s penis.
Yeah, that's just a Louis C.K. dildo.
and just have it in like the nicest trophy case.
Yeah, I would just have it on the table here every time we do a podcast.
Whenever you had a question, you had to hold it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
That's a good idea.
We might have to invest in that.
We do.
Yeah, I bet you can request it or something, you know?
Yeah, with HBO.
Anyway,
So, like-
HBO. Anyway, Harry Potter.
No, what I wanted to mention about HBO, because I think it's an interesting conversation, just a question. So, like, when we were kids, The Sopranos was on HBO.
Right.
And that was a huge show, widely regarded as the greatest TV show of all time.
Yeah, it still is. Like, everybody
Yeah.
still talks about it like it's the greatest show ever.
The Wire is amazing. Curb Your Enthusiasm is amazing.
I've never seen that.
Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah, I've never seen
Oh
that.
my god, that show is fucking
I've only
great.
seen a little bit of it.
And then there was another show on HBO. I don't remember what it was, but it came on. Maybe it was True Detective on HBO. That sounds like it was pretty big, but I don't think it's as big as the other ones.
Yeah.
first
And then the
season
sequel, False Detective. That was...
The first True Detective season was great.
Yeah.
The second one was like literally just like true crime gangster shit. So it was kind of like, I don't know. It was kind of boring.
I'm gonna check out best HBO shows. 'cause
It's
I
also
wanna
just
see.
weird seeing Vince Vaughn in like a very serious role.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's not bad at it, though. Like,
No, he wasn't terrible, but
Oh,
it's just like
fucking! Oh, sorry. Rome.
my leg's broken.
There was an HBO show on Rome that had
Okay.
3 seasons that was amazing. But Entourage was the other one I was thinking of.
I heard a lot of people talk
Entourage
about that.
was a huge show, and so people that are saying this thing like Game of Thrones ending is going to be the end of HBO, it's like, no, dude, they constantly put out bangers.
Right.
So my next question is, what genre of show do you think HBO is going to do next? They've done they've done the mafia crime thing. They've done the Baltimore, police drama twice. They've done Baltimore with The Wire and then whatever True Detective is. They've done Entourage and, the comedy. Their comedy shows are pretty good in my opinion. Like Curb Your Enthusiasm, Entourage is a comedy.
I don't have, like, subscriptions to those things. Like, those... Like, I don't have a Showtime or HBO, like, subscription, so it's like...
Yeah,
That kind of, like, is a bit of a gate to those sort of shows. You know what I mean? I never was like... I don't know. I never felt like... It's like some shows are good enough to pay for, I guess, but it's like I'm not going to commit to a brand if I don't know if I like the shows or not yet.
Right.
It's like Netflix is kind of like that now, too, though. But it's
Yeah.
like everybody already has Netflix, so...
Yeah.
They're kind of just hopping on that bandwagon where they're like, we can just make original shows.
Yeah.
But it's like, even like stand-up specials or something, like I would be willing to... I got the free trial of Showtime for like just to see Schaub's special, but it's like, I don't know if I would sign up for Showtime just to watch a comedy special.
I mean, 2 years ago, Mark and I literally bought Showtime just for the summer because of the 3rd season of Twin Peaks. So that was like...
Right, yeah.
Because
It's
like
if
the
you
other
know-
two are on Netflix.
Yeah, if you know you're going to like the show.
Yeah.
But I'm just interested to see what they pump their money into.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Because it seems like every time they have a hit show, it's like, all right, Sopranos, Mafia, The Wire, Baltimore Vice Division.
Well, it
And then
seems
it's
like you don't ever know what's going to be a hit show. That's the thing, is like if you're going to pump your money into it, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be big.
Right.
Yeah, but I think when you look at what the cast is going to be, I mean, the cast for The Sopranos, I mean, you had James Gandolfini.
Yeah, but you can have a big cast and like have a not Like,
the
you
man.
can have a good cast and not have a great movie. Too.
Am I gonna be
It's
allowed to
weird.
say anything? Are you gonna interrupt me every time
Yeah,
I
I
say
think
like
so.
2 sentences?
I think so. Yeah,
Whatever.
I think I'm probably gonna do that.
Like
what
I
the
understand.
fans-
I understand you can get good actors and stuff, but usually when you have good actors and HBO's money,
Yeah.
you're gonna get a good product.
Well,
I can't really think of any shows that had like an A-list act, even a B-list actor on HBO that didn't blow up. I mean, sometimes it's the shows without the good cast that blows up. I mean, Game of Thrones had Sean Bean. That was their and Lena Headey.
Right.
well, yeah.
then,
I mean, if you look at like Star Wars too, like the newer Star Wars movies, some of those guys started getting bigger gigs, but it's because I feel like they landed Star Wars because you could. It's almost like there was like talent scouts that knew. It's like there's definitely
Right.
talent scouts out there. They can tell who has it and who doesn't. And just because they haven't landed something big already,
Yeah,
doesn't
because like
mean
the guy that plays Kylo Ren or whatever.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
Well,
now.
he was in a bunch of shows way before that.
Adam Driver.
Yes, that's his name. Yeah, he was in at least 2 or 3 different shows, and I think one of them was on HBO or Netflix.
Yeah, I think so. The dude who plays Finn has gotten a couple roles too.
Oh, from Stranger Things. No, you're talking about Star Wars still.
From Star Wars, yeah.
But the kid from Stranger Things, like, he's also blown up too. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, so as an Elle from Stranger Things, she was in the new Godzilla movie.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yep.
He was on the show called Girls, which apparently won
Yeah.
a bunch of Emmys, which was also on HBO.
Yeah,
I'd
that was
never heard
actually
of.
pretty funny. It's kind of like I don't know, I wouldn't call it romantic comedy, but it's kind of like a life drama sort of shit.
Judd Apatow was one of the writers for it.
Ah, that's why it was
And I
pretty
think
That's why
maybe
it's
that's
good,
an
yeah.
underrated part is that the people, whoever does
Writers.
the writers, yeah,
Right.
because like you know, I think a good writer can make a bad director look good, but a good director can't always make a bad writer
Sure.
look good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's like weird because like when there's a good writer, they get a name. Like you can
Right.
pick them out of a lineup or whatever. And I know what Judd Apatow looks like because I've seen him before. It's not like
Right.
he's behind the scenes all the time, but like you don't always get those kind of fucking writers that stick out to people. So if you're like that and people know who you are, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Eh,
Get that guy.
you're doing
fucking-
something right.
WRIT.
I guess so.
Well, that was bad.
But to go back to your question about like what HBO pumps out, the one thing that I always noticed that always caught my eye for HBO in general was not only Vice TV and Vice News and shit, but the documentaries that they put
I was
out.
just gonna say that.
They had 2 years ago, it might have been longer than that, it might have been actually 3 or 4 years ago now, they released a really great documentary on Scientology called Going Clear.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Dude, it is...
I would like to see that.
Dude, it's so worth watching. Like, seriously.
Is it a series?
No, it's
It's
just
just one
one,
solid-
like, I think it's like 2.5 hours maybe less than that. But, like, they talk to people who were in, like, balls deep into Scientology for, like, decades.
Yeah.
You know, and it's...
There's a lot of crazy shit that goes on too. Like they don't let you leave, basically. Like,
Dude, yeah,
they
like-
do a lot of shit to keep you from leaving.
They talk to like 3 or 4 guys that were really like basically the head honchos, like the assistants to the guy that was running the whole thing after L. Ron Hubbard died. And
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Miscavige, David Miscavige.
Yeah.
So they were all like
Rogan had Ron, his son or something like that on the podcast like a couple
shit.
years
He
ago.
also had
That
the
one girl,
the
yeah.
that escaped. I don't know what her name is.
Oh shit,
Right?
yeah, I don't remember either.
But yeah, they basically like
it's brainwashing.
they indoctrinate
Yeah.
you as a kid, and your whole family's indoctrinated. It's like a scarier version of the Latter-day Saints and the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh yeah.
Like
if your whole family's in it, it's like you really can't leave because it's like you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
yeah.
Right.
We also got to watch what we say because Scientologists will fucking sue anybody. Well, sue us. What are we gonna
Good.
do? We have to join Scientology.
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
We have to suck all
My
the
family's
toes,
not
too.
in it.
We're gonna have to suck Xenu's fucking toes, man.
Yeah, well, they want to get you when you're young.
Intergalactic Overlord.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say my favorite documentary I've ever seen was an HBO one, and it was on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I think it was just called Kareem, and it was like 2 hours long, and it talks about how when he was a kid growing up, he got made fun of all the time because he was like the only black kid on his team.
I just wanted to interrupt you.
I know you do. You're good at it. I know you don't mean to. But
No, I definitely meant to.
but
It's his kink.
Yeah.
But yeah, he talks about how when he was a kid, he was like, you know, the only black kid on his team, and he was he's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's probably the greatest player not named Michael Jordan.
Right.
And
He's definitely the best player named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah. And
Because there's not many of those.
No.
like he went to UCLA, and he was a freshman. And UCLA, this was my favorite part of the whole story. I don't know if you knew this about Kareem. He was a freshman, and back then in like the 60s or 50s, freshmen weren't allowed to play like varsity.
Okay.
Like, you know how you have Zion Williamson.
Okay.
He's a freshman.
Right.
He can play on the regular Duke team.
Oh, okay.
But you couldn't do that back then. So what they did was their scrimmages was the freshman team versus the varsity team. The varsity team for UCLA had just won like back-to-back titles.
Right.
They were one of the best teams ever. Kareem walloped them. And then they ended up changing the rule after he went to his next year in school to where freshmen could play. Maybe I butchered that timeline, but
They're like, no, we can't do this again. We can't do
they
this.
ended up only ever losing one game. He went like 77-1 and won 3 straight titles and 3 straight MVPs in college.
Fuck.
And then ends up going on to the NBA to play for 21 years. Sets the record for MVPs, sets the record for points, rebounds. Like,
Yeah, at
the
that point,
dude
it's like
played
he's
for
playing with like preschoolers.
Yeah.
He might as well be. It's
mean-
like jumping on their heads and dunking off.
He was like
Right.
7'2", really lanky, and he had just the sky hook. You couldn't because
he was like one of the Monstars.
yeah, he really was. Like his vertical was like 39 or 40 inch vertical on top of being that tall, and his wingspan, he could literally just I'm gonna back you down in the post and then just hop, and then the ball's going to go in
Nowitzki had that style too.
with the fadeaway.
Yeah.
Because he was like Nowitzki's like 7'3", and when he fades away, you can't block him because he's at an
Yeah.
angle.
Right.
Yeah.
He just had a straight shot.
And he's still taller than you.
yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, he could be laying down and be taller than me, dude. But yeah, so yeah, I didn't want to go on a whole tangent, but their documentaries are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, and they ended up going all the way through, talking to all of his old people that grew up with him. Like, they
Right.
go deep. People that grew up with him, his family members, his old coaches, like old players. He told a bunch of stories about Wilt Chamberlain,
Right.
like how he looked up to Wilt Chamberlain, and they were like the exact opposite. Wilt was this fucking party animal, trash talker, doing drugs, getting drunk all the time, and Kareem was just this very devout Muslim guy
Right.
that basically did the exact opposite of Wilt, but also played the same position.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. Then they have one Magic Johnson and Larry Bird,
Oh shit.
because they were rivals in high school, college, and in the NBA, which is
fucked.
insane.
Yeah, there's a lot of that shit like in sports where you don't recognize those rivalries, like because
Yeah.
you don't know about them until they
Right.
have a documentary about it and shit, and then you realize there's way more backstory to have these
Yeah.
guys than.
Well,
you
I think. Oh, go ahead. I cut you off.
No, that's it.
I think back
So
then.
I win. You didn't cut me off.
Well, I think because I was talking to my Uncle Wes about this the other day about Larry Bird and Magic and like
Magic the Gathering.
yeah, and we didn't know about I didn't know how deep the rivalry went because we didn't grow up in the 70s
Right.
and 80s, but that was the big time. Like
Yeah.
the championship game they played in college, Indiana versus Michigan State, Bird versus Magic, was like the most watched ever collegiate event, I think, at the time. Like even bigger than football.
Oh, I
and then
bet.
they both went in the NBA at the same time.
Yeah.
And then played in the finals, I think 6 or 7 times against each other.
Yeah. Well, hell, there was even a 30 for 30 on Michael Jordan that told me a lot of shit that I didn't know about him.
Yeah.
And I was a Bulls fan growing up, so it's fucking, they dive into some of that shit, like a lot of his like relationship with his dad and gambling addiction and all that shit.
Michael Jordan, every time I hear, like, same thing with Gretzky. Every time I hear a new record that Jordan has, I'm just like, well, yeah, he did it.
It's fucking Michael
Yeah.
Jordan.
I read one yesterday that
Yeah, there's a point where like you just assume that he has all of the
Yeah.
records.
Right.
there was one that I read yesterday that blew my mind, and it was like Michael Jordan had won. He's won Finals MVP, regular season MVP, named to the first team defensive team and had the most points that year. He did that 5 times. No other player has done it once, which is fucking insane. I mean, the dude averaged like 39 points a game like his second year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's our age. And
He's
he was
just like, what?
tearing up.
What I do?
Yeah.
He doesn't even know he's doing it. Like,
And then Gretzky, obviously. Like,
it's hard to. It's almost hard to make a bad documentary though. Like I feel like there's a lot of really
could
good
do it.
documentaries.
Right.
Yeah, well, we could probably pull it off if we tried. Yeah. There are some. I have seen some that aren't great, but it's like still you learn a lot of shit either way.
yeah.
I mean, that was like what I was bringing up with like Vice News and shit, because like the articles online are pretty pretentious and shit, but like the actual episodes on HBO are pretty like, they're pretty fucking weird with the topics they cover. Like one of the ones, I actually watched this on YouTube because sometimes they put the whole 20-minute episode on there. They had a whole episode about how China is literally gathering the whole Muslim population and putting them in these like re-education centers. And it's like super fucked up.
What are they trying to teach them?
How not to be Muslim.
Yeah, basically how
It's
to
crazy.
be like a regular Chinese
To conform with the Chinese
citizen. Yeah.
I watched that too, and it was really fucked up because they were giving all these Muslims not even refugee status. They were just letting them come in, right?
Well, it's like weird.
You're
'cause-
good. You're good.
Well,
you're good.
it's both. It's like they're brainwashing them to be like, you have terrorist and separatist ideals. We need to re-educate you, or they're literally just kidnapping people.
Yeah.
Like, and the more fucked up part is that they're literally separating families. Like, they have centers solely meant for adults, and then they have centers that they call kindergartens for children. And yeah, it's fucked up. Just like brainwashing kids. And it's not just Vice. I also watched like a 10-minute BBC little video on it too. And it's just really bizarre how they're able to brainwash these people into thinking that like, just because they learned Arabic or something like that, you know, they have to get re-educated.
Yeah.
And like completely, like you're saying, indoctrinated.
Danny and Cass were talking to me about how they're doing the same thing in Africa.
That doesn't surprise
There's
me.
countries in Africa that like they don't want aid from NATO or the US or other countries, and they're accepting it from China because China's just barreling in all this economy.
Right.
But then they're kind of like missionaries in a way, missionaries with billions of dollars in the world's second largest economy, or even the world's largest economy.
Yeah, now it
behind
is.
them.
Yeah.
And the thing that freaks me out the most, I've been reading a ton about the credit system they're doing. And it's a big thing in MMA news because there's an MMA fighter he criticized a Tai Chi grandmaster, saying that, you know, he was in an interview and he goes, okay, well, you've been trained by these different Tai Chi and Kung Fu masters your whole life. Why now are you going to like all these top tier MMA gyms? And he's basically like, well, these Tai Chi grandmasters wouldn't fight in MMA. They wouldn't fight in the UFC. They wouldn't win. And he said something along those lines, which is true.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
right.
those martial arts are kind of more spiritual instead of combat focused.
I mean, a lot of them are also
discipline focused.
Yeah.
discipline and defense.
And
you know,
they got so upset with him, he got fined like a few $1,000s, and they lowered his credit rating. And in China, the way your credit rating works, like, is like a credit score for a credit card.
Right.
If your credit is too low, you're not allowed to apply for certain jobs. You're not allowed to get insurance. You're not allowed to shop at certain stores. You're not allowed to take public transportation. And if your credit gets low enough, you're not even allowed to leave the country. And that's the controversy with this MMA fighter now, because these grandmasters are so upset with him, and the government is so upset with him, that they lowered his credit to like a D rating. So now he's not allowed to leave China to compete in all these MMA fights.
fuck. Okay.
And like, I mentioned a while ago, I think we were just hanging out. It was like me, you, Katie, and Vinny were hanging out. And I was talking about, it was like a year ago, how they're putting RFID chips. All the schools in China are government ran.
Right.
And they all have uniforms, and they have RFID chips in the uniforms that are tracked all across the country
Right.
based on their cameras and stuff. And it lets you know, like, if the uniform's been washed, if it's
Right.
clean enough, if they're wearing the right one, because you have to wear a certain one each day. It lets you know if the kids are in school or not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you literally just reminded me of like the most fucked up part about that whole Vice thing about China's re-education facilities or whatever. One of the main things that they're doing to track the people that aren't in the re-education facilities is literally using the top of the line facial recognition and voice recognition like technology to record what they look like and how they speak, to literally like so they can follow their phone calls and shit like that.
Just to catalog every bit of information.
Yeah,
they can,
it's so fucked up. And now everyone's freaking out over that stupid face app turning people old and Russia using that information and shit. It's like, I mean, it's not too far-fetched, really.
No, it's not, but the thing is, like, why is everybody doing that? Everybody's turning old.
It's trendy, bro.
Yeah.
It is trendy.
I mean, we're probably not going to see the next, 15 years. We're probably either going to have a nuclear disaster, the whole world's just going to fucking...
Yeah. So you might as well just see what a computer thinks you're going to look like.
Yeah.
Might look like,
Yeah.
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 I think the scarier thing is just the idea that people can brainwash people so easily.
Right.
You know? It almost seems like effortless. It's not effortless
It
at all.
almost seems like, because you don't know what's going to happen if you don't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's kind of the North Korea thing, too, like where they're just brought up this way and they kind of know that this isn't really the case. Most of them understand that he's not a god or some shit.
Right.
Like most of them know that, but they also know what the punishment is for not following along.
It's just like under Stalin in the USSR. You said anything remotely close to being criticism or bad about the Soviet Union, you weren't going to see tomorrow.
Right.
You'd have a couple guys show up on your doorstep, they put you in a fucking van, and that's it.
Yeah, that's why freedom of speech is nice.
And like,
It's a good thing, I guess.
People
Right.
really criticize the U.S. for how the media is and how the government is, and it's like, even in England, where people think if England has freedom of speech, but you really don't even have it over there. I mentioned before, the guy, he's a comedian, and he taught.
Canada doesn't even have it.
No, Canada doesn't have it either. Not to the extent of the U.S. at least, where
Right.
it's like,
That's what I mean.
as long as you're not actually in someone's face threatening them, you're
Right.
pretty much fine. I also don't think you can say you're going to go assassinate the president. You can't say that.
Here's something funny. It was the same episode with the China re-education facilities, that Vice episode. They talked about how Supreme Court ruled that it's against the First Amendment for Trump to block people on Twitter just because he disagrees with what they say. So I thought that was kind of funny.
So the idea is that they don't have the president can't see their voice, basically? Is that what it
kind
is?
of.
Because he's a public figure.
Yeah, because he himself is a public figure.
Right.
And so
Or
like
public
him like
servant.
blocking people on Twitter is like basically going against the First Amendment, apparently.
Right.
According to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can see it. It's a little bit of a blurred line there.
Oh,
but-
definitely.
There was a argument to be made that the social media platforms are so ingrained in everyday communication that they should be what is it, classified as a utility instead of a luxury or something like that.
Like
where
I know
where
what you mean.
like if
I know
it's
what you're
based,
getting at.
I can't remember I'm butchering it, but it's like since it's based in America, it has to follow America's amendments. So like they want it to be government regulated.
Right.
It's basically what I was getting at. And I remember reading a few things and watching a video about it. But I don't know,
though. No one can regulate that, though.
No.
That's the thing.
I mean-
that's what YouTube's having such a big problem with, is that
Yeah.
there's so much content and you can't monitor all of it.
Well, did you see the fucking huge pedophile ring that got exposed on YouTube?
No, but it doesn't surprise me.
So crazy. There was like this. It's like these two 30-minute videos this guy posted talking about how. Well, first it was the Elsa Gate thing where they would have the fucked up cartoons with Disney
like
characters
Spider-Man and shit.
doing
Okay.
like straight up
Throwing bottles at each other and
and cutting each other up and killing each other and just basically turning regular cartoons into happy.
But it was all
cheese.
the same exact cartoon, but
Dude.
with different characters every time.
And then there's kids, there's children flash sites that are it was so fucked up because it was on a PewDiePie video or something is where I saw it, where there was literally this website called PrincessElsaGames.com, and it was like Princess Elsa gets an abortion. Princess Elsa has
Dude,
bunions.
no, I think I've seen that video.
It's
Yeah.
so sketchy, dude.
Yeah.
And there's shit like that all over because like they're cartoon characters, so they're not like technically flagged by a firewall or something.
Right.
Huh.
But
It's a way to get it categorized under the YouTube Kids app, or basically.
yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
And then they basically, this guy was talking about how he would see these conversations happening on these posts, and they were all like in this code.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, after there was an investigation about it, they were posting onion links to the deep web, where they were like, it'd be like a video of like a group of kids swimming in a pool.
Right.
And then there'd be like a comment and then a bunch of other replies. And then they would find out, they like, oh, that's an onion link. They'd look it up, and then it was like child porn with those kids in it
What the fuck?
that people were spreading and sharing
Jesus
around and
Christ.
shit like
What the
that. And it was
fuck?
like thousands and thousands of videos.
Right.
And then
It's weird because where do you like communicate what that code is? Like how does everybody who's in that understand what the code is? Like how does that information get out? Like how do you go,
the
bro,
links-
this is our language. Like where do you tell those people
the links on the
that?
deep web are
Secret pedophile
like,
language.
yeah.
like-
It's like a very strange encrypted link.
Right.
Like, you know, if you wanted to go on YouTube, you just type in youtube.com.
It's got like
Right.
18
But if you were on-
redirects. Like
yeah, if you were on like Tor to go on like or another onion browser, it
Right.
would be like 24 random characters in a row.
Okay.
And what you would do is you type that in, and like you said,
yep, that's gone. It's over.
it's fucking dead anyway. I'm pissed.
Charge it.
I don't have my charger on me. I thought I grabbed it. But yeah, and it was just this wicked fucked up thing. And then, so the first video was him talking about like the investigation and stuff. And then the second one was basically talking about how easy it was for people to like pedophiles and stuff to access it.
Right.
Because all you'd have to do, thanks to YouTube's algorithm, is watch like 3 or 4 videos
Right.
of like children, like videos with children in them.
Right.
And then that's all you would get.
Jesus.
And then you would get videos that weren't even
I'm
your
surprised we didn't get that on Brian's account when we went for
kids
getting hurt badly.
Yeah.
Now all I can think about is that fucking YouTube account you guys showed me last time, that CEO 100able guy or whatever.
Yeah.
He's probably totally a part of that with his Teletubbies and his Hot Wheel fucking
It's so
reviews.
weird.
Yeah, it
dude.
could be. He does a lot of Lego stuff too.
You know, he's definitely trying to pull kids in.
Yeah, he is.
He's not doing a good job. Well, he actually is doing a
He
good
is
job.
doing a
He's
good
got over
job.
six
Exact-
figures in subscribers. But yeah, it was very strange. Yeah, that whole thing. Because, like, you don't think about stuff like that. You don't think about the fact that
There's an underground community of that shit and how it can be like
and it's
in the mainstream.
well,
in a
we
way.
mentioned it with Dave, and it like I don't want it to crack me up, but it does. But like whenever someone gets busted with child porn, they have so much of it. Like and like, but there's
they have like
probably-
a bunch of like Seagate terabyte hard drives like stacked up to the ceiling.
I mean, that's how it was with what's his name, the guy, the Subway guy.
Jared.
Yeah, him and like the other CEO of his like literally a foundation to help kids get to school.
Yeah.
Was literally
Oh,
diddling kids.
They were learning something.
Oh,
They
yeah.
went to school. Yeah, he took them to
But
school for sure.
They've also found they've also been multiple cases of which like people will steal your IP address and then literally somehow fill your fucking computer with child porn.
Yeah. That happened to
know?
Alex Jones.
Yeah, it also happened to
well, that's what he says. Where he just had a bunch.
there's
of
like a
child-
fucking alien conspiracy theory guy named Stan Romanek. There's a cool documentary about him on Netflix, I believe. It's worth watching. But yeah, that's basically how the fucking documentary ends. It's like this dude who's literally been like fucked over by like FBI and shit. Literally just like comes home and literally has like his whole computer wiped, but filled with child pornography.
They just injected child porn into his computer.
Basically, yeah. And it's fucked up. And then, like, I think he got arrested for it. And that's just how the documentary ends. It's just like, this guy saw aliens, was abducted and shit, and now he's in prison for child porn.
Jesus Christ.
You decide. And it's like,
Yeah.
fuck.
That happened to my mom's old teacher,
Oh.
Mr. Ranieri. You might have had him.
The name sounds very familiar.
I think he was a substitute when you guys were in high school.
Right.
He was long gone before I was there.
Right.
But his wife is Mrs. Ranieri, and he got
Well, no shit.
she was also a teacher at the high school.
Yeah.
And he got busted she retired my sophomore year. And then the end of my junior year, he got busted for all this child porn and got part of his pension confiscated as part of the lawsuit or something. And
it shouldn't just been part. It should have been all of his pension.
Well, Mrs. Ranieri had to go back. She had to unretire because her husband got caught with all this child porn. But I remember we were talking about it at my house. My parents and I were talking about it. My mom and dad had him, and Mom was like, "Yeah, that was always weird." That whole situation. I go, well, obviously, yeah. And she goes, no, well, they started dating when she was in high school. And I was like, that's it. Okay. So he was a teacher in high school when they were younger.
Yeah.
And then he started dating her when when she was 17, I think. And then they started actually dating when she graduated.
Right.
That's the move.
It's that's the move. That is the move.
If that's where you're gonna roll, I guess so.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
I don't
had
know.
it.
There's
He had
apparently
all
stories of
planned
Mr.
out.
Meerabito doing literally the same thing, taking chicks out on his boat. So it's like
After they graduate.
no,
While they're in school?
apparently.
Well, he wants to get in early and then put in his time.
He would just make sure they're seniors. That's from the stories I've heard. You just make sure that they're literally about to graduate or just did or whatever.
Because I heard
because of the implication.
I heard
you're out on
the
the
open
boat.
sea.
and I love Mr. Meerabito. He's one of my
Dude,
favorite
no, he's
teachers. But I've also heard those rumors.
Okay, but
where,
Mr. Meerabito also is kind of, he doesn't act, but he looks like a Kevin Spacey. You know, he's a guy that could probably do that
He's
shit.
got that vibe.
He's also
Yeah.
super jacked. I don't know if you knew this or not.
Kind of. I kind of did.
Yeah,
He's kind of super jacked.
he's kind of super jacked.
No, that's how I actually found out. Derek Roth actually had Mr. Meerabito at his graduation. And so, Derek Roth had, these random photos of him with Mr. Meerabito at his graduation party. But he also had, one random photo that was just, Mr. Meerabito and some random chick on a boat. And, yeah, he's got, a fucking six-pack. And it's just well, Derek, why do you have this fucking photo? It's
maybe it was airbrushed on like they did in 300.
Yeah.
What year did that come out?
07?
I think it was 07.
Maybe.
Zack Snyder's 2007 classic.
Yeah, have you seen Zack Snyder's 2007 classic 300 starring Gerard Butler and Lena Headey?
Yes.
It's a great movie.
I give it a 3 out of 5.
That's good. It's above average.
Did you hear about that fucking chick that talked her boyfriend into killing himself and shit
Yeah.
through text messages?
Wait,
Yeah.
did it happen again?
Was that
no,
the
it was
dude?
it was back in 14 or something like that.
Yeah, and she
But the whole thing came back up again recently. I don't know if there's a documentary or something about it.
Right.
But it was fucking. I read all the text messages, and it's dude, you're clearly guilty. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And they're so dark. They're so weird. This kid is basically suicidal and shit, and he's always talking about how he's avoiding it.
Yeah.
And she's basically dude, you just got to do it. Got to get it over with.
You just got to go to that
I
parking
remember-
lot, put a little, I forgot how she did, put a generator, put a hose from his car exhaust into the window. And yeah, she literally describes that's how you're going to do it. You're going to go to the parking lot 4 or 5 in the morning when you know there's not going to be many people at the Walmart or whatever.
Yeah. And she keeps asking him, are you going to do it today?
Yeah.
Today's the day you need to do it. And then she's I love you. What the fuck are you what is going on? You're out of your mind, lady.
All right, I thought we
Manipulation.
said we weren't going to kink shame.
Oh!
Yeah.
I thought we said we weren't going to kink shame.
She's really
I
into
mean,
that.
on which side are we kink shaming?
I don't know.
Conrad, I think, was her something like that. Was it his name? I don't remember.
Well, I just remember she said, if you really love me, you'll do it.
Yeah.
If it bothers you this much and you really love me, you'll do it. And I was damn.
That's fucked up.
Imagine if you
Michelle Carter
and
Conrad Roy was the kid who killed himself. She was 17.
See, now
time.
that's what I find more
It was a
fucked
long
up.
distance thing too. They didn't really
even know each other.
I mean, they did, I guess, but
Do you think he got to slip it in at least once?
Doubt it.
No.
yeah, I doubt it. She was playing him
Before
like a
he
fiddle the
slipped
whole
into
time.
before he slipped into death's sweet embrace.
But you wonder if he would have done that shit had she not been trying to convince him to?
That was the argument too, which was
And she went to prison for X amount of years or whatever.
She got tried as an adult for murder, didn't she?
It's like
I think
assisted manslaughter or something.
I think the trial's still going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I think it's coming back up because there's still some fucking legal shit they have to go through.
Right.
When you look at her, you can tell she's out of her mind, but she has like the eyes like, I'm going to tell somebody to kill himself. Like it's that.
Or I just did a whole bunch of coke.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
Or I'm trying to stay awake. Like those are the eyes.
Yeah.
Jake came over. He was tired. He was like, he was like falling asleep. I'm like, you know what I do when I'm tired? I just open my eyes really wide. But it never
tell
works.
people to kill themselves.
He immediately goes, it doesn't ever really work, but you can try that.
Give it a shot, you know? Give it a spin.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, all those text messages are online, so you can literally read the whole conversation like leading up.
Because I remember reading that stuff like last summer, maybe the summer before. I don't remember how long ago this happened, but I think it was at least last summer.
It's such a roller coaster, too.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, maybe he's not going to do it. And then
he did it.
He's like, I'm on my way now.
It's like watching a movie based on a true story that you already know the ending of.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like the Titanic.
Well, that's the thing.
Everyone's going to die.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, is if it's a good enough movie, right?
Right.
Like, you kind of have that suspension of, like, disbelief. Like, maybe it won't. Yeah. Maybe it won't sink, you know?
How do you guys feel about the Titanic? I kind of like that movie.
I never watched all of it, I don't think. Like, I've seen it, but I barely remember it. I know is that it was a
really
boat that
do
sinks.
enjoy the Titanic.
Yeah, I think it's been so long since I've actually, watched it. Like, I think the last time I actually, watched the whole thing was in class in 7th grade, because, my fucking English teacher, we got halfway through the fucking school year, and he's like, I don't have anything planned.
So we'll watch Titanic.
So we're gonna watch Titanic and fucking Twilight Zone for the rest of the fucking year.
Is that Mr. Kosteniak? I was gonna say we watched Titanic and Twilight Zone with him too.
Exactly.
I remember he got surgery on something and he was out for 4 or 5 weeks and Mr. Fatiga replaced him.
Oh my God.
That was the best month of my life.
I bet.
Because he wasn't an English teacher, he was a health teacher.
Yeah.
And he was also retired for years. And it was
I like how he's a health teacher and he's got the word fatigue in his name.
Yeah.
He was also my tennis coach for a year, which I'll get to later. But that was also a great time. I told that story at the bar. But fucking yeah, our unit, he didn't believe Mr. Kosteniak that the unit for that 4-week period was we watch a Twilight episode each day, and then our homework was write your interpretation of it or something, and then we had to watch The Day the Earth Stood Still, the original one, and then we watched another old movie. We watched The Thing from Another World or something, or The Fly, the original.
Yeah, we watched a lot of those old horror movies too. Yeah.
And it was really cool. He was a really cool teacher. I liked Mr. Kosteniak. When I graduated high school,
if they have to get that approved. They must have to, right? They must have to talk to somebody and be like, "Can I show this movie in class?"
But he literally showed easily 50 plus episodes of Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
You got halfway through the school year with him, and he's like, "I have nothing literally until May, and that's when you have to read Johnny Tremaine or whatever the fuck." it is.
Yeah, I bet he didn't go in being like, "Can I show 50 plus episodes of the Twilight Zone?" And they're like, "Yep." Go ahead, do whatever you want. They could have actually.
I remember when I graduated high school, you had to write a letter to a teacher you had, and I wrote mine to Mr. Kosteniak, and he had just gotten another surgery. You had to write a letter to a teacher and then invite them to your grad party if you were having one.
I never had.
You didn't have to do that.
No,
that's kind of creepy. Dude.
I think it was maybe it was because I had Mrs. Franck, because I remember we had to do it in English class.
Yeah, no,
and
definitely.
Mrs. Franck went and hand delivered all the letters to everybody. And I remember Mr. Kosteniak was still recovering from his surgery, but he wrote me a check for $200 and then wrote me this letter.
And it bounced.
No, he was a really cool dude. I remember I didn't.
Mr. Kosteniak himself bounced. He died.
Yeah, he did.
I remember remember I didn't even thank him for it until like a year or two later. Like I completely forgot about it, and I wrote him another letter, and then he wrote one back, and I was like, all right, cool, we're cool.
All right, good, we're straight.
But no, because he was also my track coach in middle school, and then he was also like kind of a therapist. Because I was getting bullied a lot because I had a bowl cut, so I had to transfer to classes.
Well,
so
you could just get rid of the bowl cut.
He's like, he'll be in my class. He won't get made fun of. I didn't. Right. So it
Couldn't you just ditch the bowl cut? You know, like, did you know that was? Did you know that was the issue? Or
no, they also made fun of me because of my mom too, which I thought was a really low blow.
That's fucked.
That's a little weird. Yeah.
Huh.
I remember. What was it? We were like drawing pictures or something in art class, and like I accidentally like fucked up my drawing and like went outside the lines. And this girl Haley,
you can't do that.
Yeah, what the fuck?
This girl Haley is just like, didn't your mother ever teach you to color inside the lines? Oh wait, she didn't. She was drunk all the time. And I was like, what the
Fuck.
dude, it was
wrecked.
so because she was a popular girl,
Right.
so everybody was just like, we're gonna make fun of this kid, not realizing that he's all gonna be our friend when we're older. Like,
Well, yeah.
Fuck.
it was really fucked up, dude. I didn't
Yeah.
like middle school.
I didn't either, but that's for a totally different reason.
I did like the cafeteria though. It was kind of cool.
The cafeteria at the middle school is the GOAT.
Yeah, literally way better than the
Because if you were
high
sitting
school
up on
one,
the
yeah.
top tier, that's when you knew we were cool.
Yeah.
Actually, it was the top tier and the lower tier. If you were middle tier, you were a fucking weirdo.
yeah.
Always middle tier. I was always middle tier. That would make sense.
Yeah. I sat on the lower tier and the long table that was next to the windows.
Okay.
And then we would just constantly shuffle around
yeah.
every day at lunch. We'd all eat our food in like 5 minutes, and then immediately it was just like social hour.
Man,
Right.
they'd get on your ass if you like got up to talk to someone at a different
They would
table
get
too.
so mad about
Which
it.
I don't understand that at all. What's the problem with that?
I don't remember the high school being like that. I remember
Not really.
high school, like lunch in high school, you were only cool if you sat in the booths.
They still kind of talk, like if you were standing at a table for like a certain amount of time, they'd come up to you and be like, "Dude, go sit
Right.
down." Like, I don't know why though. It doesn't make any
Control.
sense. Maybe it's
Yeah,
I
basically.
guess. Maybe it's so not everyone is standing up, walking around
Yeah.
and going to all these fucking tables.
Yeah, basically.
Or just get bigger tables, right? And then everybody can sit at the same table that they want to talk to.
Just the giant circular table.
It's just one big
Like from
round
Austin
table.
Powers.
yeah, one giant
Like a
circular-
UN table where all just breaking bread with each other.
Yeah.
It's funny because like it would get really loud in the cafeteria, and then somebody would be like, "All right, guys, let's quiet it down," and then 2 seconds later, it would just build. You'd hear it just build because everyone's trying to talk over everybody.
Dude, I remember in middle school we actually like
That was
that was
car
a car
beeping.
one. In middle school they would actually like get pissed enough to the point where you weren't allowed to talk. That happened a couple times, which was fucking
Yeah.
retarded.
I actually think for a time being in the middle school, we actually had like assigned seats.
We had that too.
Yeah, at a certain point, like they would
Yeah.
get
We had that
pissed and
too.
they'd be like, "Yep, assigned seats."
Yeah.
They did that because they were basically like you have to pick. It was like I remember it wasn't for me assigned seats; it was assigned tables.
Yeah. Well,
And-
that's more so what I
Yeah,
meant.
and it was like they made all the tables like 10 or 12 people or 10 or 12 person tables, and then like once
Yeah.
you sat at that one, you were there for the week or the. Or
That was
the-
always like a threat too, though.
month
Like
or
even if
something.
they didn't have assigned seats, like they'd always threaten to
Yeah.
give you assigned seats. If
Well, that
you
was like
guys
the
were
thing. I
talking
think it
too
was
much.
also like alphabetical order too.
Right.
Yeah.
So you'd always end up being with people that you didn't fucking care to sit around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was funny because
I don't like any of the S's.
Yeah.
Fuck the S's.
I remember getting assigned seats once for like, it was for like a, like, you know what? It might have been graduation rehearsal because you had to be alphabetical
Yeah.
there. But I just remember like one of the teachers going, "Oh, well, you get to sit next to your cousins," and I'm like, "No." There's like there was 5 Joneses or 4 Joneses in my graduation class, and
Right.
none of us were related. None of us liked each
Yeah,
other.
but you got to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember I was the line leader for my graduation.
that's always.
And I
awkward.
also, Principal Hartwell went to shake my hand, and I like put his hand away, and I gave him a big hug, and everybody giggled.
Oh.
I thought you were gonna like kick him in the nuts or something. Do something funny.
I RKO him.
out of nowhere.
Give him the stunner.
Oh man,
Kick him in the gut. Pedigree. Like he lets you set it all up though.
Yeah, of course.
he's a total jobber, dude. The crowd goes wild.
Put put them through the table or some shit.
I
Through the
feel-
stage.
I feel like the
Good
graduation.
God Almighty! Good God Almighty!
That man had a family. Oh man,
Yeah, I think we shouted out just about every teacher in the high school
we
too.
did.
Basically.
My graduation day was cool because I graduated. Technically, it was on my birthday, and then I had my grad party, and then at night we did my birthday party at Wes's house. And I remember my dad bought me like the most gigantic bottle of Jaeger you could.
Right.
And my cousin Drew blacked out and chugged it in front of Paulie and Wes, and he wrestled Big Wes and like fucked up his back. It was bad, dude.
Yeah,
That
it's not.
sounds
that's
like a
not-
bad time.
Yeah, not the
I had
best
fun.
idea.
We bought like that was the night where we all piled into a car.
Right.
And it was like 7 of us in like the shitty little Nissan Pathfinder that they used to have.
Okay.
And we drove to McDonald's and literally bought over 200 McNuggets and like 12 large fries. And we
Beautiful.
sat there for like 35 minutes.
Right.
And then we ran into Dave. And Dave ended up coming back to Wes's with us.
Why not?
At least you got to try all 3 shapes of chicken McNuggets.
Yeah, there's the circle, the boot, and then whatever the third one is.
Yeah.
I don't know what the third one is.
Bill does.
It's definitely not a boot.
No.
No, it's not.
The boot
Well,
is the goat though.
the boot is, yeah, for sure.
Usually the crispiest.
It's about how crispy it is. Well, I don't honestly like the crispiest ones are the ones that are old and overdone.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm a slut for McNuggets. Like, I love them. They're my favorite fucking thing. They're
I haven't eaten McDonald's in like 5 years.
It's good for you. You should check it
it
out.
is good for you. Have you not seen that movie Super Size Me?
I have.
Yeah.
Actually, a few times.
Did you see they're making a sequel?
No.
They don't even have supersize anymore. I think that movie was like one of the triggers that like they kind of like were like we can't do supersize anymore. It's
Yeah.
like except for people just get 2 large fries instead.
Right.
Which is
Well, it
actually
was like-
more food.
It was like a supersized drink was literally like a half gallon of soda.
Right.
And
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Well,
was
you
one
didn't
of-
have to get supersize, you know.
Well, but that was like his challenge was like if the person asked him if he wanted to supersize
He
it,
had
he
to.
had to agree to it.
yeah.
And so like literally the first meal that he got, it was like everything was supersized.
Yeah.
Fucking the fries, the drink, he got like an extra fucking pie and all this other shit.
He had to do breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
Yep.
right? He
Yeah.
could only eat McDonald's
Every day for
Yeah.
like a month.
He didn't even finish the month though. Didn't
No.
they were like, you can't do this.
You
Dude,
would
he basically had cardiac arrest.
Yeah, you would
Like-
definitely die
Like he definitely went to the hospital. I mean that first day he gets through breakfast and then he does the lunch where like I was saying he gets everything supersized. He couldn't even finish the meal. It's so much fucking salt and sodium he ends up throwing up on camera.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like you couldn't even go a week probably without getting really sick, like or
Right.
having actual heart issues immediately.
I mean, I don't know.
3 meals a day though, like that's crazy.
I
I wouldn't even be hungry enough to eat 3 meals after eating
Right.
that much food the first time.
I could do it.
Well,
You definitely have to put your mind to it.
I do.
yeah.
I mean, I know you do.
There's
I just get so
strategies, too,
bored. Dude, I'll buy
Right.
groceries for the week and they'll be gone by like the second day because I'll just be bored. I won't have any booze or
Right.
anything in my house.
Well,
I'm
there's
like, I might as well
strategies.
just cook and then eat the food that I just bought.
Right.
Like the key is to eat like a little bit of this thing and then a little bit of this thing and then a little bit of this thing and then come back to this thing instead of eating all of one thing at a time.
Right.
Because what like apparently your body like gets sick of a certain flavor versus so if you eat like different foods like in like a rotation,
Yeah.
you can eat more food. It's very fucking weird. Like if you just eat like fucking 40 chicken McNuggets, you're gonna get sick of them pretty quick.
Right.
But if you mix in some fries and maybe a McDouble or something, you know, you can do it. Okay. Well, I don't know how that works. Whatever you're doing.
He just fucking
Dude, I just took a shot of Jewel.
That's yeah.
dude. There's okay. So you obviously saw those like 3 or 4 random girls that were with Jake, Bear, Danny, and I at the bar, right? One of the girls kept on calling her Jewel like a Chong or something like that.
Chong.
Dude, it was like so fucking weird because I kept on thinking one of them was gonna just like pull out like a joint or a bowl or some shit. They're like, pass me the Chong. And I was just like, kept on looking over and it's just like the Jewel, and I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're an idiot.
I wasn't gonna say that, but definitely misleading.
You could have mixed it in, you know, like under your breath or whatever.
I guess.
You're an idiot.
I'm a fucking idiot.
You're not gonna like come out and be like, you're an actual idiot. You fucking.
Well, I mean, I'd only just met her that night, and like, you know, I didn't want to ruin something that, you know, I don't even know the person. I don't even remember her name.
Was it the blonde?
I think you know enough about her though, right?
No,
No.
It was the shorter one with the glasses and like brunette.
Oh.
Yep.
I can't remember her name.
Me neither.
I don't know. She said that I looked like her boyfriend, and that's kind of
I've
weird.
met her like 4 times, and I don't remember her name.
I don't.
Right. She seems pretty memorable, right?
As memorable as a C-list character.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So what's up with that Jaeger?
I don't know. I
crack
wasn't
it.
certain if we were
Let's
taking.
Let's take a little break, and I want to cool it down a little bit in here too.
Sounds good.
We'll drink Jaeger and get really hot.
I don't even know how long into the podcast we are. I have no
About an hour.
frame of reference.
I think we started like right at 6, basically. So,
Oh, cool.
I mean,
about
there's
the right
also
time.
probably like 15 minutes of just random gibberish and us clapping. So,
Yeah, sure. We can. Yeah, I might even leave that in because we got to have the claps in there
right.
because I have to sync up the audio and the video, so we have to clap like a director does. Why don't we get one of those things? Like the black and white, like, director's thing. Yeah. Take one.
I mean, we actually need to find out what that's called.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I looked it up at one point, but that's what it does. It's the same thing. It syncs up your audio and video.
Okay.
That's the same idea. But you might as well just clap. It does the same exact thing.
Except you're going to have like a half dozen different claps to choose from.
I typed in director Clapper, and it popped up James Clapper, former director of the United States National Intelligence.
Oh, yeah, I know that dude.
Yeah. James Clapper.
I think it's called the Clapper board. Yeah, Clapper board.
Yeah, probably.
Dude, he fucking claps ass.
It's so that, well, it also... It does that function, but it also shows you like what take it is and like like where it is on the reel and all that shit.
I want to know more about James Clapper.
let's dive into James Clapper first.
We're going to take a break and learn more about James Clapper.
We'll report back.
That'll be our initial topic.
Yeah. I don't think there's any ads in this episode. Well, there's probably one at the beginning, but we'll be right back.
It was decent.
All right, we're back. We're doing a little bit of Kylie Murray here.
I need another.
I prefer if we didn't mention who we were.
Well,
it's
she's
too
already
late. We've
known
already
us,
done it
yeah,
before.
we already did it.
Okay. Does this person know about the podcast?
No, but I did add her on Facebook. I added all 3 of her accounts.
Yeah,
All 3.
And I set them all to see first. So every time I get on Facebook, it's literally a half hour of going through everything.
I should really start getting notifications for it.
I think the amazing thing is I had 40 tabs open at this point, and I'm pretty sure they were all Kylie's posts.
Of course.
Fuck.
Did you watch that? Yes, I did. Please. There was one. She went on this rant about cheese, and I thought it was hilarious, and I don't think I have it anymore.
I mean, what kind of cheese are we talking about here?
Puddle cheese.
Oh my
What
god.
the fuck does that mean?
That's exactly. That's what was so funny about it.
That's like another word for cum, dude.
It was really
cheese
funny.
is?
Puddle cheese.
Oh, puddle cheese. Huh? Never heard that one.
I mean,
You can mix that in. Though,
girl wants to yank out some puddle cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Probably not, but you know what I'm getting at.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like you could use any word for it, and like as long as you use it in the context.
Right, but
Like-
puddle cheese.
Yeah.
Like, what else could that be referencing to? Unless there's literally a puddle of, like, wet, hot cheese.
Yeah.
It was something to do with.
There usually isn't.
It was something to do with
I hope
like
there wasn't.
she bought slices of cheese that didn't melt properly, and she was really upset about it.
Right, you gotta have an equal melt, like an even melt. Was that money?
Yeah, that was somebody else. I just thought it was a funny post, so I sent it to my group
That's
chat.
a lot of ones.
Anytime you're taking a photo of money, it's definitely a funny
Well,
post.
it's just funny because she paid her rent all in ones. I thought it was funny.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing she's a stripper.
Yeah, probably.
I think she is. I don't remember.
I gotta get rid of all
That-
these ones.
Not saying that that's like a bad thing, but like,
I've been trying to get rid
why are
of
Zoomers
pennies.
less tolerant of abortions and homosexuals than previous generations? Who is this?
Who is
slut?
this slut?
Bird
Okay.
6034.
What the?
Oh, I think I screenshotted that because I wanted to find out who that was.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that one's great. Never a dull moment with Grandpa Joe. It's this guy smiling, and then the grandpa is in the.
He looks pissed.
He's so
Dude,
angry.
I really like grandpas. Honestly, I do.
His
There's a
nose and brow combination is fierce. Look at that.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a TikTok path that I've been going down the last couple days. With grandpas, like they do, just videos of their grandpas and shit.
but it's TikTok.
Hey, there's Josh.
Hey, it's Josh sitting on a toilet while she's in her bath. I need a beer.
Sitting on the toilet. Remember that video? That
I
black
did.
chick that uses
It was on Daniel Tosh. .0. Oh, this one was cute. That's my little cousin. Tucker fell asleep waiting for mommy to come home. I don't think I'm his favorite. And that was at like fucking wicked early in the morning. It was at.
Well, I'm not putting this stuff
3
in the
a.m.
video, so nobody
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see
yeah.
this. I just want to talk more about Kylie because she's pretty cool. There's more talk about Baja Blast. She's making the right choice there, right?
Wait, yeah, where's the Baja Blast?
Are those
The last
nacho
one, you were
fries?
just looking at it. She was like,
Was waiting in line, and there was like 5 or 6 people in line, and the manager walked over to the fountain drink machine and looked at me and gave me a sign to go see her, and she was holding a large drink. I said, how much? And she said, it's on me. Feeling the
Wow.
love here.
we should have made a post about the Dunkin's thing, where we got the free Dunkin' Donuts,
We should have.
because that's like right down her alley,
Shoulda, coulda.
Because for sure
Gotta
she
find the
would've
puddle
posted about
cheese post, dude. I'm really annoyed.
I really hope you don't find the puddle cheese.
that. We should reach out to Kylie and see if she'll come on. You know what I mean?
Which of her 3 profiles are you gonna hit up?
All of them.
Whatever one's the most active.
Here it
you
is.
know?
Yo, this fucking food is fucking nasty. I'm done with that shit.
Patties.
I'm going to go back to the fucking store and get some more cheese. Not this fucking shit. It doesn't melt. I want something like McDonald's cheese. When you take a bite of it, it melts. I got it at Walmart. I wonder never again. Fuck the knockoff brands plastic shit.
Wait, but can't you just put it in the microwave and melt it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first off,
Like you're doing something wrong here, I think.
she's literally putting cheese and chicken patties
Wait,
in a toaster oven. That's not how you cook that shit, man.
no, it isn't.
No.
Like, put it in a real oven.
Well, put the patties in the oven first, okay? I'm trying to help you out here. First of all, put the patties in the oven first. Clean, get those all good to go. Then take the cheese, put it on top, and then put the shit in the microwave.
You can see if there's comments on the picture. I completely forgot. how
and
to
just
use
melt the
Facebook.
cheese for 15 seconds or whatever,
Right. No, yeah, that's like toaster oven 101. You don't put shit like that in there.
I think it's user error more than anything, yeah.
Right.
I mean, don't blame
I mean,
the brand. I mean, I get it. I get the frustration, right?
like if well, yeah, I do too, but it's like
know what
if
I
they
mean?
literally put frozen chicken patties with
Yeah.
slices of just like cold cheese on them.
Yeah, like
and
straight
just
out of the
expected
fridge.
like 5 minutes later they're going to be cooked and melted like
cooked cheese.
cooked cheese, man.
Yeah, like when it comes straight out of the fridge, it's still got some chill on it,
Right. But I mean, like I
When
was saying,
was that
like,
puddle cheese post?
if those chicken patties are frozen, there's no fucking way it's gonna cook those chicken patties in like 5-10 minutes.
Right.
puddle
you know.
cheese.
I mean, I have a
Fucking-
toaster
I
oven.
lost
Holy
it
shit,
again.
how is there 34 comments on this?
Dude,
And a share.
A share? Who shares this?
July 6th.
Unless it's like her alternate account or something.
No, people who are also very serious about their cheese.
the puddle cheese.
Yeah. Like I'm genuinely upset. I'm gonna
July
start sharing all of
6th?
her shit.
July 6th. It's going to take so long to get to
It
July
says she's
6th.
at Walmart when she's doing this though. It's like tagged at like checked in at Walmart. Cicero.
So I'm kind of confused. Are they like do they live in Fulton?
Yeah. I like how you say
I think
they.
she lives at Syracuse now.
Maybe.
Well, in one of her posts, it said that she.
She moved out of Oswego County.
Oh no! It said she moved out of the city.
the city.
Yeah.
10
Was her-
years ago, but that wasn't true. Because I've seen her within the last fucking, 2 years.
Well, I guess it also depends on what she thinks the city is.
Well, it
Right.
was really funny because I mentioned her to one of my coworkers when I worked at the Manor, and he lives in Fulton. And literally
Right.
that day, I guess she was in the middle of the road in front of Fast Track, and her tire blew, and was causing a whole traffic jam and commotion and stuff.
Her tire on her bike? Mm-hmm. How come you don't just move the bike out of the road, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess it's...
That's what I
Look, there's a lot of questions in this world, okay?
Right.
And
I gotta find the puddle cheese post. It was fucking hilarious, dude.
you don't... do you really have to find the puddle?
Yes, I do.
Apparently.
How come you didn't bookmark it? How come you didn't save it? Can't you save posts on Facebook or no?
You
Can
should
you
have
do that?
hashtag saved it under puddle cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
The puddle cheese post was July 6th, but there was an update. She literally went to McDonald's and talked about how she wanted extra puddle cheese on her burger.
Okay.
And they put an extra slice of cheese on the
I think
burger.
she's just talking about melted cheese.
Yeah, but that's a really awkward way of calling it
Wow,
melted
okay.
cheese.
We need to get a fart, your mom's house fart mic.
This is my favorite one. Who's that? You texted her 2 years ago.
Wait. I'm sorry. What's the
I've definitely met this person. at some
driving
point.
around? Okay. So then
Now that I've seen that picture of them,
there's him in a suit with
Yeah.
shades. Okay, like a fucking something from the Matrix. And then
dad shades.
who's that? Someone says. Okay, and then you texting her is the response. 2 years ago.
I can't believe
Very nonlinear.
This descent
I don't
into madness
understand.
started 2 years ago.
I genuinely don't understand the
I feel like it was
conversation
accelerated.
here.
No, from what I'm gathering
Okay.
is that Kylie is talking to that guy,
Yeah,
and he probably didn't know.
I'm guessing so.
It used to be Kyle.
Oh.
Which is one of those things you have to disclose. I've been through it firsthand. And I
Right.
did not enjoy that experience.
Right.
I got a lot of flack for not enjoying. Well, there was nothing to
When was it
experience.
revealed? Though,
Right.
is the question.
For me?
Yeah.
I told this story on my way to her dorm.
Yeah, you've told me this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, at least that's somewhat of a heads up, you know.
Right. Somewhat.
Like when you're sucking her toes, then she tells you.
Yeah, like I start with her toes and then I'm kissing all the way up the leg and then it's just hog.
Yeah.
That would have been a concern.
That's when you kiss the hog, man.
Oh. Just. My gag reflex. I would be awful at sucking dick, man. I don't know how you guys would do.
I think
I can't even brush my tongue without gagging.
I don't know though. Here's the thing. I think all three of us would be pretty good because we understand what it takes. You know what I mean? Like we understand what feels good,
Determination,
right?
Drive.
Yeah.
What's the third D?
Dick.
Like that's the thing though. Like think about it though.
Lots of dick.
Yeah, like if I was gonna jerk you guys off, okay, I have a lot of experience.
Right.
Yeah. Same.
I have years and years and years of experience. So like I understand, you know.
No, there's nothing more fucked up than when a chick grabs your dick and it's literally
just
like,
mashing it.
dude, she's holding it like she's holding a
messy.
handlebar on a bike. It's hard and it's rough.
It's backwards.
Well, sometimes that's hot, but
Well, you
it's
can do
just
it
like
backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
but
you're
like
going like that.
tearing off
Have you ever
layers
done
of
it backwards?
skin.
Have I ever done it
Like that,
backwards?
yeah.
No. Should I try it?
I mean, I think I've done it once. It's a little different.
Yeah, switch it up every now and then.
And then if you go left-handed, it's a little different because you're like less
Left-handed is
coordinated.
weird. For some reason, I can only jerk off left-handed if I'm really drunk.
Oh,
Otherwise, it doesn't work.
so it's like a Rain Man thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Have you ever done the one where you sit on your hand until it falls asleep?
The Stranger.
I've never tried that,
It's okay.
but I've heard about it. I've heard stories. You know?
It's okay. It's okay.
It's one of those things where like the needles and pins in your
Yeah.
hands just kind of like that feels more awkward than
Yeah.
jerking yourself
Yeah.
off. So it's like,
I feel like that distracts from.
It really. Does.
oh, it does. Yeah.
And also, I think your hand would come back
Well,
to
the thing is I think
Eventually.
as you're
if-
going.
think
I
if
mean, you're
was gonna
putting
jerk
blood right back into it.
If I was
Yeah.
gonna jerk somebody off, I don't know if I'd be able to do it like this. I'd have to be behind them.
Reach around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why do you think they have that? Yeah, reach around.
There's the loud vehicle. We finally got another loud vehicle. That's been a while.
Yeah. We almost lost the patent for that.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that's like our signature move, besides the Kylie thing.
And 300.
Well, yeah, that's
300's been in there.
Yeah.
The classic, that's our new thing. That got really fun.
That's your new thing. I don't know about me.
I thought it was funny. The last episode, we referred to every piece of media for a while as the classic.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's
they
like
are classics.
they are classics. It's not funny when you redo it. It's
Right.
so I guess it's not really a thing.
Leave it like it is. Leave it
alone.
Let it
We'll,
lay.
we'll come back to it in like a few episodes.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. If I jerked you guys off, you'd like it. I think.
Well, would you use lotion or lube
well,
or spit?
well, that's the thing is like I mostly have experience with dry.
Yeah, same.
So like, I think that's where I'd be more comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I could work it in if you guys need it to.
Would you be mad if you got like cum in your beard?
I'd probably be a little frustrated. Sure.
like
It comes with the job, you know.
Yeah. I think the risks going in.
yeah.
But I mean, it's like take a shower or whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
Eh.
No,
It's not like I'm gonna get pregnant.
Worse things have definitely happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So which one of us you think like is gonna be the best jerker offer?
Jerker off.
Like
Yeah.
the best at it.
Yeah.
You're the oldest.
So like
I think it's you.
experience wise.
Yeah. And I feel like your sex life is way more active than mine and Aaron's is. So you would already have your head in the game.
Well, but that means I'm gonna take a little longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a
Well,
tolerance.
Aaron and I would tag team. you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Like he'd
yeah.
cup the balls or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spit roast.
And I'd go, ooh, like I'd vibrate your junk.
Yeah. I'm a nutsack.
It's like girls like it when you do it to them when you eat them out and you're like humming and stuff. So I feel like I've never had a girl hum while she's blowing me. It's usually like when can I go home? Yeah. She usually doesn't even speak English.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if I would be good at jerking you guys off because I feel like you guys would just laugh the whole time.
Probably. Yeah.
It would be a pretty funny situation.
It would definitely be an experience.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, what do you even like? I don't know. Like, I don't know what I would do, because it's like at that point it has to be like I had to have consented to it in some way, right?
Right.
Well, I guess not.
No, not at all. Like you will never. I don't think anybody what could.
Like
I
if
don't
you right
think-
now, if you right now were just like started downhill skiing, right, and you every once in a while moved your head over and just did a little hum on the balls to each one of us, like back and forth.
Yeah.
Like how long? I think I would last longer.
I actually hate having my balls being touched
Yeah.
in general.
Oh, so maybe you would last longer, right? 'Cause it's
Maybe.
yeah.
Like anytime that's become like a part of it, I immediately just like no, and just like immediately.
But
start
you'd have
backing
his
away.
left hand. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a photo finish, dude.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a photo finish.
You don't like your balls being touched?
No, not at all.
I'll take it. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
I
I
was
don't
gonna
want the
say.
smacks though. That's
No.
like,
What?
you don't want the pain. You know what I mean? You just want.
I mean, I don't just even like them being like fondled or whatever. Like it's just like I
Yeah.
just would rather not have balls.
yeah, they're a weird thing. They're always hanging there. They're
Yeah.
very vulnerable.
I'm not gonna kink shame, but I think that's a little weird.
I don't care, man.
I like when like their massage, like when they get a good,
Just a
little-
when they get a
yeah.
good rhythm going. Like,
No,
A
use
little bit
that
of
other
movement.
hand for something else.
Yeah.
do you like the finger in the ass?
What's the
No.
No,
something else? What do you use the hand for?
tickling your feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the gooch shot? Do you
Ooh.
like that?
That I have very mixed feelings about that.
I had a girl that was very, very into just
gooch?
pushing on the gooch with her thumb.
Because apparently that's one way to stimulate the prostate
Oh yeah,
without Really putting a finger up the ass.
Yeah.
So like people are just like, find that walnut muscle that's in the gooch, and it's like
The walnut muscle.
yeah, exactly. Where the fuck is that? So then you'd get like a chick that's just like doing that to your fucking gooch,
Trying
and
to
you're just
find-
kind of
Yeah,
like,
it's like she's trying to like smear a chocolate stain off of her kid's face before a fucking school photo.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
They did a quick little lick. Yeah.
come here, Jakey.
You got something on you.
yeah. I don't know.
It's just how it is.
I keep.
We need
farting.
another. Yeah, we need another mic for those. That's the third one.
It's the Jaeger. Dude.
What did you eat? Did you? Oh, is that it?
straight
What did I-
Jaeger.
haven't
I
eaten anything
literally
today,
all
man.
I ate today. I freaked everybody out at work. All I ate today was like bacon, egg, and cheese English muffins. we were
That
or
actually
no,
sounds
they were
good.
ham, egg, and cheese English muffins. We served them for breakfast. I bought one for breakfast, and then there were two
So
left.
it's Canadian bacon.
Yeah. I bought one
Egg
for
and cheese.
breakfast, and there were two left. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. And I bought the other two. And my lunch, I just ran them through this impinger thing. And then I just had two bacon, egg, and cheese English muffins. Ate them at like 1 o'clock. Downed them with a Pepsi. And
Right.
like the people I was sitting with at lunch were like, why are you eating it, dude? Why not?
Right.
I honestly, I do want to keep talking about jerking you guys off. But
course.
I really,
Always.
really, really enjoy breakfast sandwiches.
Dude, yeah.
They're probably the best.
I
Yeah.
mean, I like a bagel if I'm gonna do either
Yes.
your croissant or bagel.
Yes, I definitely agree.
You know.
They're very comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what we do?
I just like the amount of chewiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I
got
feel like an
crispiness,
English
but it's-
muffin's just like it's too small and I just go through it too quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're a
You
little
know-
crispier. Like if you have like a muffin or something, I feel like that crispiness. You want like a little bit of crispiness.
Right.
Any of those baked goods, you want a little bit of crispiness.
Yeah.
What we do at work is once a week we do them on potato rolls, like that you would put a burger on.
Yeah.
So we do these loaded, like Philly steak, cheese, and egg on a potato roll, toasted all together.
Right. That actually sounds really good.
It's so good.
I actually haven't eaten at all today, so I'm gonna
I'm
try and
sorry.
find that somewhere.
Yeah, same.
I actually had this conversation today. Like, there's no places that serve breakfast sandwiches 24/7 besides Dunkin'.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
And really, Dunkin's breakfast sandwiches are pretty good.
They're okay.
I'd say
kinda
they're
rubbery,
maybe a little
you know?
overpriced,
Yeah.
Though definitely
but like
overpriced.
comparatively to like Stewart's or like Burn Dairies, like I'm certain they're probably just like a notch above.
At Burn Dairies, it's $2.99 for a breakfast sandwich and a medium coffee or something.
I always feel like a
That's not
gas
bad.
station's a bit of a risk, you know.
Right.
It could be hit or miss. Sometimes it's hit. Usually it's like chances are it's a miss. But
I will tell you now, Sunoco makes the greatest wraps I've ever had.
Where?
Sunoco.
Which
On the west side.
Okay.
West First and Utica.
Okay.
I only get one. I talked about it before, and it's
I didn't know they made
literally
wraps.
just they're pre-made,
Right. Okay.
and it's
Like
just
Burn Dairy.
yeah, and it's buffalo chicken with pepper jack cheese and romaine lettuce in a
Okay.
wrap. That's all it is
That sounds perfect.
for like
really.
$4.
that's all you need.
It's pretty good.
I mean, if it's loaded, that actually
It's
sounds-
pretty thick. It's a pretty thick wrap.
right.
It's got a lot of sodium in it though, because it's a wrap.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was funny when like wraps first. Well, in hindsight, it's really funny when wraps first came out. They were seen as like this trendy, healthy thing,
Right.
only to find out that they're so bad for you.
Why not?
Like,
Just like everything else in life,
yeah.
you do anything in excess, it's bad for you.
Well, I think
Yeah.
like an
I
actual.
mean, living is bad for you in a way.
True. An actual tortilla has like over half your daily sodium in it. Like a
See, now
normal.
that I didn't know.
Yeah, like because that's what wraps are. They're just
Right.
tortilla shells.
Well, just have one of them, you know, and then be done for the day.
Can't do it.
I mean, I'm also certain there's probably a way to like mass produce tortillas that
With tons of sodium and
with less sodium.
less sodium.
Sure.
Yeah.
Probably.
You know, it's just like they,
Well, then
dude,
you're
they have
getting-
all sorts of products. Sorry to cut you off, but they have
you're
all
fine.
sorts of products that are like less sodium this, less sodium that. Like my brother and my mom love tuna fish, and you always see that on the fucking cans. It's like, oh, less sodium.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, look,
I fucking hate tuna fish.
Me
dude.
too.
It's just I like it.
I
Probably
hate anything that you have to literally mix mayonnaise with. Like I hate fucking egg salad and fucking macaroni salad,
potato salad and
Yeah.
all that. Thank you.
I hate that shit.
Thank you.
I hate anything, like I said, you have to mix it with a shit ton of fucking mayonnaise. That's fucking gross.
yeah.
And with that, I'm gonna do
I
the
like
shot.
tuna, but I don't like the other things you guys listed for sure. I don't mind tuna.
I would just say
But-
that I haven't had like tuna other than sushi. I haven't had tuna presented in a way that I like it.
Right.
Like a regular tuna sandwich and shit grosses me out.
I'm just not gonna like. I'll eat tuna, but I'm not gonna eat a lot of it. It's a very like a limited
tuna
amount.
fillet. That's good.
I honestly, I've never had
You can
that.
get like a tuna fillet at Price Chopper, and it's pretty good, honestly. But
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually haven't had a lot of fish. Usually it's just like perch and haddock.
Cleans the table with his sock, puts it back on.
Yeah, why not? I don't want to leave these Jägermeister sticky rings.
Yeah,
you
true.
know?
Those are sticky.
Well, what's better than being sticky on my foot? It's already
Yeah.
gross.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. You know, just spray a little Febreze on it. Disinfectant.
what's your guys' favorite kind of bread?
Every kind of bread.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends. Like, if we're going to Subway and I'm getting a sub, it's Italian herb and cheese, man.
Right, you have to.
Naturally.
Honestly, I'm pretty plain Jane with bread.
If I was like Aaron, I got all the meats, I got all the fixins.
Yeah.
All I need you to do, get a loaf of bread from the store, any loaf of bread any
just
kind
like-
of bread you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
What would you grab?
I like sourdough. I like just munching
like
on
sourdough.
Italian bread in general. Like,
Yeah, I was
Like-
going to say straight Italian bread's really
Yeah.
good.
Like the thick cut, like you get from.
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, like if we were like gonna make like nice sandwiches or some shit, I'd probably find some like really weird fucking wheat bread that just
Yeah.
looked fancy.
With all the seeds in it.
yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of Wonder Bread, you know.
Yeah.
Wonder Bread is great for like PBJs.
Yeah.
That's about it. And,
And
grilled
cheese.
cheeses.
Yep.
My man. I like right now. I've been getting Freihofer's Italian bread.
Yep. That's
It's a
actually
very,
what my
it's a very soft.
actually
not-
it's not Freihofer's. It's the B brand, Di Italiano.
Oh, it's not Fry. Oh, it isn't Freihofer's. 'cause
No, Freihofer's does make Italian bread.
Oh, I'm thinking the one I have isn't Freihofer's because Freihofer's has the bag inside of the bag, right?
Maybe.
That's
Or is that
extra
Pepperidge
fresh.
Farm?
That's for
That's
extra
Pepperidge
fresh.
Farm.
Yeah.
No, I think mine's Freihofer's.
You might be right. I know.
But I know what you're talking about too.
Yeah, it's like the
I don't know
same
that many-
color bag.
It's like the Italian flag.
yeah, but it says Di Italiano.
Yeah.
D
instead of-
apostrophe Italiano?
Yeah,
Yeah,
D,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
D'Italiano.
But yeah, like the thin sliced Italian bread is great.
I'm not big. I don't know that many brands of bread, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Usually
me
stick
neither.
with, you know, like a Bosco's, you know, like a local place to just grab the
I won't
bread.
lie. It's probably because I worked there for about 3 months, but like literally the only thing I like about Canales is their fucking bread.
Their bread's really good.
Yeah.
The bread's really good.
Yeah.
I actually have a loaf of Vona's bread in my freezer.
Ooh.
When I don't have anything when I don't have anything to cook, I literally
Thaw it out.
I thaw out the Italian bread, thaw out my spaghetti sauce,
Fuck yeah.
and get some cheese
Right?
and spices and stuff. Preheat the oven.
Herbs and cheese.
Yep, and I just put some.
But is it puddle cheese?
No, it's not puddle cheese. I'm
No,
not
it's just
fucking
regular cheese.
savage. I put some butter on it, some spices, some cheese, and then I throw it in the oven.
Right,
Make
right.
like garlic cheesy bread, and then I make
Yeah.
Italian dunkers.
Right.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, if somebody told me, Jake, if you save up your money and move on your own, you can have Italian dunkers whenever you want, I would have moved out 18 years
Yeah.
ago.
Right.
Like,
Easily.
I'm just sitting there. I'm like, you know what? I'm about to make Italian dunkers. Boom.
And it's
Oh.
done, yeah.
It's done.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I just want a place where we only sell Italian dunkers with different toppings and
Yeah.
different sauces.
Why not?
Like open
No
face
one does it.
calzones, basically.
Yeah. No one does that.
I don't see why they would need to.
I feel like everybody liked Italian dunkers, so I feel like it's a
I feel like it would
Untapped
definitely
market.
be like a good drunk food.
yeah.
Like if you were literally just open from like I don't know, like 6 p.m. to like 4 in the fucking morning or
Yeah,
something
like,
stupid, like Calios and or
Yeah.
DP dough or whatever the fuck it's called.
Just a
now.
competitor.
So good now, though.
Is it? I just thought it was funny that literally like 2 months ago, the Calios Facebook page was like trying really hard to hire new people. And now they have like a complete new.
They're hiring like everybody fresh too again.
Yeah, but it's like they have like a complete brand changeover. You know.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
It's a smart move though.
Yeah, I guess so.
What happened was Calios bought that. Like they had like a merger basically.
Oh.
So then all the DP Does are owned by Calios, but Calios decided to change everything to DP Do because there was less Calios than there were DP Do.
Right.
There was like 23 of them or something.
Well, I think we
They
talked
were,
about
like-
this.
You and I talked about this at the bar.
Well, I think we also talked about it when I was here last time when Bill was just leaving. We were talking about how there's the Calios here, and then there's the one in Armory Square right
were
next
starting to
to
branch out.
Funkin' Waffles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also a Calios in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Well, now they're all DP Does. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that legit?
Yeah, on campus.
Yeah, there's a
Did
whole
you
bunch
know
of them.
that?
They go to a lot of college states.
Yeah, there was literally a Calios
Huh.
on the University of Nebraska's campus.
I did not know that.
Maybe it wasn't University. I think University of Nebraska is in Omaha, but whatever university is in Lincoln.
Well, it's like the guy that like
Nebraska.
worked for DP Do or whatever. He like branched out and did Calios and then
Right.
Yeah, DP Do was all in like the Midwest and the other Great Lakes areas.
Yeah,
And
so
then
they're like they
Calios
have
was all
a
over
decent
the
amount of
Northeast.
locations now, 30 something.
So
I
there,
think.
so it's still like a franchise chain. Okay.
So if there's one around you, go check it out. You know.
Right.
Wait,
Compare
it
the
is in
qualities.
Lincoln. Oh yeah, so it is in Lincoln, Nebraska. So University of Nebraska, the Cornhuskers,
Right.
Cornhuskers.
my second favorite college team.
They really husk corn pretty well, honestly.
I like those colleges that like the state's only sports team is a college team.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Nebraska, Alabama, and Auburn. You know, Ohio State.
I mean,
Isn't
in a
Auburn
way.
Georgia?
No, Auburn's in Alabama.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, those are the schools that get good teams too, like because they end up, just having a rabid fan base because that's
Crimson Tide.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, Nebraska is crazy because they do the fucking they do blackout games. So instead of whiteout, everybody wears full black, which is just interesting to me.
Okay. I guess I don't know enough about sporting events for a whiteout blackout thing,
They just wear the same color, I guess.
right?
Yeah. Well, they do it at the hockey games for Oswego. They do the whiteout games where everybody
Where's
the players wear all white uniforms and all the fans are given like white T-shirts and flags.
Okay.
I don't see the point of it, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's just something fun to do. You don't see. The
sounds
point in
like
a lot of things.
another level of
We
whitewashing.
should do a whiteout podcast, dude. We'll all wear all white.
Doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever pull that off. There's no way we're coordinating that.
I have a white T-shirt. I have one.
I don't have white like pants or anything.
Nope.
I think that's the hardest thing to find.
Yeah.
Like actually white pants or jeans or whatever.
Yeah,
Like you
because no
actually
one
have
wants to buy that shit. It's gonna
No.
get dirty immediately.
to- Yeah.
That's actually what my Halloween costume is going to be. Is
White jeans.
Yeah, I'm gonna dress
Just
up.
white
I'm gonna
jeans.
dress up as this rapper Prof.
He looks like Randy from Trailer Park Boys with just the
And,
white like khakis.
In one of his music videos, he wears white jeans and a Chicago White Sox jersey and a bunch of fucking shitty gold chains
Okay.
and sunglasses. And that's
Right.
That's your Halloween costume?
Yep, I decided.
Okay.
I'm probably not gonna wear it. I haven't done a Halloween costume since the Beaver Boys, but that was also an all white suit.
Yeah, that's
Right.
all white. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. I liked it.
I think the the problem is the Beaver Boys with Paul and I won't be topped.
Oh,
as far
no
as my
way.
personal,
As far as like a duo,
as far as personally,
Oh,
like that
and
was
I
the best
mean-
Halloween costume we ever did.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, I think the best Halloween costumes, even though they didn't go together, was when Paul dressed up as
Austin
Austin
Powers.
Powers and Vinny was fucking
Hulk Hogan.
Okay, I was gonna say Macho Man, but I'm glad. Yeah, Hulk Hogan. Yeah, no, that was easily.
And they fought each other.
No, the cardboard city.
Yeah.
No, that was perfect.
Vinny partially tore his shoulder because he fucking did the people's elbow to this cardboard skyscraper.
yeah.
Dude, I just thought it was so funny that both Paul and Vinny were drunk enough that they started destroying like these random like theater displays that
Yeah.
Ashley
Yeah.
and Wes had down there, and Ashley started getting
She was
so
getting pissed,
mad.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean it was
funny.
cardboard. I mean it's like
I
you
thought
know,
it was really.
I thought it was
funny.
part of the city.
Well, because
Yeah, me too.
they had that it was the Lego one. Because
Yeah.
the Lego
Yeah,
one, the
the
faces
spun
changed,
around,
and they
yeah.
kept hitting it to
Yeah.
spin it around.
was gonna say, I think Wes has a good video of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is one out there somewhere.
I think Marley ended up ruining it anyway because he pissed all over it one night.
Who was the one who drew all the buildings on the cardboard?
Paulie.
So
Paulie
Paul
spent
all
an
that
entire day. Well, that was the plan.
That's a Paul thing to do, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, spend
He
all
loves
that time.
creating things.
Yeah, he's just gonna draw windows and shit on a box.
Yeah, right?
He spent, because I remember going there to set up like the upstairs and the deck, and he spent the entire day in the basement building a cardboard city out of dozens and dozens and dozens of boxes.
Look, that's determination, you know. And then it all got destroyed for in 12 seconds.
Yeah. I like that it
That's
started.
life,
I like the
man.
video started off
It
with
is.
Vinny just straight up barreling into him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a showdown for the ages, you know.
It was.
Hogan versus Austin Powers. The irresistible force.
Who would win? I think Austin Powers would win.
Oh, I don't know.
He might shag.
In kayfabe,
Is he the baby? I think he's the baby face, right?
guaranteed.
Well, here's the other question. Does Austin Powers and Hulk Hogan have tag team members? Because if Austin Powers has Mini-Me, that's a
Right.
secret weapon.
Or if he had Foxy Cleopatra.
Or anyone, Dr.
You know, I would
Evil,
almost call it a
Gold
handicap
member.
match.
Or his dad. I guess his dad
Yeah,
would
right.
be his partner. Nigel Powers?
I would give him a partner and have
Yeah.
it be a handicap match against Hogan, right? Because Hogan's got like the experience. He's
Especially
been in the
when he-
ring.
especially when he,
He's got ring time.
Especially when he hulks up or whatever they called it. When he-
Right, right.
Oh, Vinny is always hulked up. So that's why it's perfect that he was Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan.
That's true. Yeah, that's a tough matchup for Hogan, but you know, I think he comes out on top. You know,
He might have. I'd have to rewatch that video.
yeah, just to get an idea.
I think it was a pretty even match. I think it was like a tie.
I think Vinny hit the leg drop at one point, so I think that was pretty
Yeah, he
much-
did.
I think that was.
But
a
he
wrap.
also tore his shoulder.
right, but he finished the match.
Yeah.
He did finish the
that's
match.
determination.
Yeah,
I won the night because I got really, really fucked up. I think we all did. Was that
I'm
the night
certain.
where there was one night where
yeah, it was.
something happened.
I think so.
Maybe.
I think that's the one.
Wait, what happened?
Was that the night when I was the authority? Or was that a different party?
I feel like that was
The Authority.
I feel like that happened at multiple parties.
Yeah, where Wes and Big Wes both went to bed and Big Wes left me in charge.
Dude, no,
So you
that
were the authority?
definitely happened at more than one party.
Because there were...
Because there was one party where younger Wes like went to bed at like midnight. He made like 4 or 5 pizzas and was just like, gotta go.
Yeah.
And then like you were just like,
I
rule.
took a bunch of people in the garage,
yeah,
and then I was like, look, there's going to be tons of... Because it had already happened. Because Uncle Wes had to kick people out.
right.
And I remember he came up to me and he was like, look, if there's anybody here that you wouldn't have here, kick them out. And I'm like...
Yeah,
I'm tiny.
You were like the interim head coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I remember I had like the Martin brothers. I think I had you and Mark. I'm pretty sure you and Vinny were in there and the rest of the guys. And I was like, look, if there's people here that I don't want here, you guys don't want here, they're not staying.
Right.
And then it was very civilized and we ended up staying up till like 5 a.m.
That
That
doesn't
usually
surprise
happened
me.
anyway.
Yeah.
It would end up always being like me, you, Mark, and the Martins
Yeah.
sitting in the basement till like 5 in the morning.
Right.
With the djembe drum.
Of course.
gotta have the djembe.
Those were fun times. I really haven't been to I've been to maybe one party since then that wasn't a Jones party that was like as good as that. And
Right.
it was the one I went to. It was mine and Josh. It was Swamp's housewarming party, which was great because it was like, you know, I was friends with all those people too. I don't really like going to house parties because a lot of the time when I get invited, the only people I know are the people inviting me.
Right.
Yeah, or
You know what I mean?
the house is the only person.
That
I
was
know.
like
Yeah.
there was a good period of time between like my sophomore year, maybe like just about a year after I graduated high school, where I didn't like going over to Wes's house because of that reason. Like there's way
Yeah.
more people that I did not know or recognize.
Yeah, there was a period where that definitely happened.
You know, so like I was just kind of like, I'm gonna. Well, I mean, it was also the fact that I think it was the year that Psychopath played the Battle of the Bands. No, the year afterwards that it got busted.
Yeah, that was when Hair played.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, it was when Hair played.
Don't look at me. I was a kid when that happened.
Dude, yeah, because I wasn't at Wes's house. I heard all about what happened.
Yeah.
But, no, yeah, that was, like, super fucked. And when I heard about that, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go over there for a period of time.
Yeah.
I remember... Oops.
Oops. Nice one, dude.
I remember the night when you guys played a set in the dining room and the cops got called.
Yeah, I do remember
in the dining room it happened?
Yeah, you guys played a set in the dining room.
I remember playing in the dining room. I don't remember the cops being called for it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
because
they
almost shot Marley. Marley was on his what is it? The
like
lead,
a line,
the line in the backyard, and he like went up to the cops and was smelling them and was just following them around. And one of the cops freaked the fuck out. Then he was out there with like 3 other people, and like they didn't even realize it was the cops.
Right. The only thing that I remember that whole situation was that people were clearly smoking weed in like the living room while watching Ethernauts.
Right.
And, like, I think one of the cops was literally, like, this close from just, like, walking right into that fucking house. And, like, Mr. Jones actually stopped him. And was just like, no, we're going to talk about this outside, yada, yada.
Right.
But
yeah,
I don't really remember.
Don't walk into the house, right? Because you can't do that.
Well, I mean, you're technically supposed to have a warrant.
Cause.
If
they can see paraphernalia...
But that was the thing. I don't think he saw that.
He just could.
I think he was literally just like he heard the noise of the band playing and was gonna like just like walk in to like shut things down. And it was really just the fact that like Mr. Jones saw everyone like smoking weed from a bowl, from a joint, whatever, and was immediately just like, I have to go out and talk to them.
Yeah.
He was out there for a minute and then they left, and it was hilarious because
well, usually
he always diffused the situation. Well, not always, but he diffused that situation like a motherfucker.
Yeah, but usually they're just but usually they're just trying to say like, quiet down.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I think the big thing too was that Uncle Wes had a noise ordinance thing,
right?
And people still were calling the cops on him,
right?
Which you're not allowed to do,
right?
Technically,
no.
I mean, I guess you still can, but it's just like one of those things where it's like you're being an idiot. I don't know.
I think they don't want to. It's like they don't even give a shit too much anyway. It's like they don't want to go out there just to fucking respond to somebody to tell them to fucking be quiet.
Like a party going on in the middle of the summer on a Saturday night.
Yeah, it's like they definitely have other shit they.
That actually happened to me one time. It was back when I was still in Infernal Thorn and whatnot. And we were practicing at the Wet Paint Company building on the east side.
Okay.
You know where zinc and shit used to be. We were practicing way upstairs. It was literally a Sunday in the middle of July. It was probably literally a day like today. And literally we're just jamming and we hear, I didn't hear it. Someone else did. They heard a knock on the door. And so they went to answer it. And literally 2 cops just tried to barge in. And I mean, we'd all been smoking weed. There was literally just bowl and grinder and shit on the table. But the other members had actually been doing whippets. So there's literally a fucking thing of little fucking nitrous canisters and fucking balloons on the table too. And I'm freaking out in the corner. And they literally said that someone was complaining because their kid had school the next day. It was fucking literally 6 or 7 o'clock on a Sunday in the middle of July. And I said right to the officers, does that kid have summer school? Because there shouldn't be fucking school.
Yeah.
And
it's July.
Yeah, and secondly, I think that was the fucked up part, was that it was earlier in July, and usually summer school doesn't start until midway.
Yeah.
Because it's usually
it's almost August, I think.
Yeah, because it's the first portion of August and the last portion of July. That's usually the 4 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever. But no, I remember that being so fucked up, and I was, like I said, more afraid that they're gonna fucking try to, I don't know, fuck us over with the whippet shit.
Yeah.
And I was just I had nothing to do with that other than the weed. But luckily we were all smart enough to literally just blockade them at the door and just be get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Aren't you allowed to do whippets though?
I don't think so. I think it's literally an illegal use of a substance.
Oh.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm
I mean, it's not illegal to have it.
No, it's you can have
but yeah,
nitrous.
They would basically have to prove that you've been using it. Or that you are, or they'd have to catch you doing it or something.
Okay,
probably.
but there's 5 40-year-old men and there's literally just like a dozen fucking canisters of nitrous and a couple deflated balloons.
Yeah, it's
there's no way that we're having a party for kids.
Well, maybe you just
while
like
playing
balloons. I don't
fucking
know.
black metal, you know.
You might just like balloons. Eh?
Well, that too, you know.
Really though, it's like some people like balloons.
That was definitely one of the weirdest moments in that time period.
There
I mean, I was also like 18 or 19, so it was just like I'd never, other than weed, I still don't really do anything like that. So it was just kind of like,
and I mean, at that point, you guys knew where to get balloons for cheap. You know what I mean? Like cheap balloons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they definitely did.
Yeah.
I did have a card. I
Fucking
told
300 pack, like a fucking at the dollar
It was
store.
really where
300?
they found the cans of nitrous.
Yeah. Yeah. 300.
That's why I'm more surprised.
Yeah.
we used to be able to buy them at Botified, I thought.
Probably wouldn't surprise me if you still could.
You used to. Dave was talking about how he used to be able to buy them at Groffalo's when he was younger. When he was like in high school, he used to be able to buy cans of nitrous oxide at Groffalo's.
Honestly, it
Doesn't
wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I'm certain it's one of those things you go up to the fucking deli counter and ask, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
and just give you a nod.
They're like,
and then
yeah,
you hand them a 20, and then there's
They do
just
the
like
little-
a couple boxes sitting on the back stoop.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're wet boxes.
Yeah.
Like they were in the rain.
I got you.
The wet part of the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
I had a party that got busted. I told the story once, I think.
Maybe.
We were at my friend.
One too many times.
We were at my friend Tim's house for a party during Harborfest, and who was I with? I told the story with Christian, I think, when he was on, because it was me and Christian, and when he first started dating Sierra, and then Sierra's friend Morgan. It was the four of us, and we were hanging out at our buddy Tim's house. We were like out just hammering shots, smoking weed and stuff like that. And you know, we were still in high school. And it was Harborfest.
Right.
So we're doing this it's like 2 PM. And,
Okay.
It's a good start so
it was a
far.
good start. And they're
Starting
blaring
early.
music and stuff, and there's people on the porch and stuff drinking, obviously underage. And I just remember looking at Christian and Sierra and Morgan, and I was like, let's go to Brightbeck. I don't want to be here anymore. I feel like something bad's going to happen.
Right.
And not even kidding you, we walked out of the house and like walked maybe half a block away.
Okay.
And as soon as we were basically out of the radius of the house, like 3 cop cars pulled up.
Yeah, they just surrounded.
Oh god.
And fucking booked they didn't book everybody, but they shut the party down.
Oh, I bet.
And like
Yeah.
10 minutes later, everybody that was at the party ended up being at Brightbeck anyway.
Right.
So you had a bunch of fucking intoxicated teenagers that left the comfort of a house to be in public.
Yeah.
Which I think was a good move.
I remember the first time I think it was the first or second time we played at the cellar door or whatever.
Right.
Christian was like gonna get in a fight with some kid about like out in front because the dude was like smoking weed out in front, like just standing on the sidewalk on First Street.
Dude, no, I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so we had there was like a 20-minute situation, like trying to not have him fight this kid.
Right. No, I
'Cause the
think
kid
I do
was
remember
like-
that. Yeah.
The kid was like, no, I know what I'm doing. Like, and he was like just with a bowl, like out on First Street, like in
Dude,
public.
there's some really fucked up guy at the cellar door that was literally trying to sell me a full fucking eighth of weed. Like, literally just pulling it out of his coat and holding it in front of, like, literally Terry,
probably
the
the same
bartender, and some... Yeah, it probably was. And it was just like, you want to smoke this weed in the bathroom? And I was like, no.
Yeah, how about
Like-
put that
like,
away?
yeah,
right?
like,
that's
this
what
is
he.
not
I
the
think that's
place.
what we were saying to him. We
Right.
were like, dude, just like, can you like go around the corner or whatever? Because you're right there by like the Pal
Right.
Times or whatever. Just go around the corner.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, dude, I know what I'm doing. And like it escalated like real fast.
I mean, I won't lie. I've kind of done the same thing where I've literally sat in front of fucking Old City and just, like, fucking smoked a bowl
Yeah.
and just not give a shit.
Yeah, but it's like we're playing a show there, so we don't want
Yeah.
attention.
And I
drawn to
mean,
this
you're
for-
also on West First, like literally
Yeah.
the main drag
And
of
it-
downtown.
Yeah,
you know?
and it was one of the first times we'd played there. It's like we want to play there again.
right,
We don't want the cops showing up for a dude smoking weed and then it being reflected on us.
right.
I remember, I think it happens almost every other time I go to the Sting that a bowl gets pulled out and people are just smoking a bowl like at that long table.
Oh, dude, there's some
Outside?
guy with really long
Oh,
hair and
yeah.
a beard Edson.
Yep.
Dude, literally every time I see him there, he literally just pulls out the hugest fucking bull and just like starts chonging it, and I'm just like, how have you not gotten caught yet, man?
Yeah.
Like,
I think
that's
just people just don't care, you know.
Oh, well, I mean, now it's
like you can
partially
do it
decriminalized, you
Right.
know. I'm certain if you're smoking out in public like that, you know, a cop can still be like, I'm gonna break your fucking peace.
Yeah, I think you're kind of just hoping that most people there are cool enough to not say anything.
Right.
And it's the Sting, so people really don't care.
Well, that's the
there,
thing.
you know?
Like, I've
I
literally
just
seen
walk
him
away.
literally smoke a bowl right next to the bouncer.
Yeah.
And so it's
next to the barrel.
Yeah.
He'll be sitting right next to the barrel.
yeah, literally. And it's just like, clearly no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I have a couple friends that every time we go to the Sting, they'll, like, roll a blunt and then
Right.
smoke it there outside the doors by the pool table.
dude, no, there was one time, what's his name? Jose was literally there selling like
Gummies and brownies.
no, he was
and
selling
stuff.
like 4 dozen cookies and brownies
Yeah,
and shit.
I remember
like
that. He had them in
Snickerdoodles.
his backpack.
Yeah, and it was just like he was selling it so loud. He was just like cookies and brownies for sale, edibles, and just like
They definitely have weed in them.
yeah, it's just like I'm 200% surprised. Like a cop didn't even hear it, just like driving by. Just
Yeah.
be like,
I remember one
Why'd you
time
say-
I mean, you can smell weed pretty easily, dude. Like,
Right.
it's pretty strong. Like, I remember one time I was hanging out with a friend of mine who, like, neither of us really smoked anymore. I think he might have still done it, but his girlfriend had just come home from work. I had barely seen this kid for, like, the last, like, 3 years or whatever. Hanging out with him. His girlfriend comes home and asks us, like, to go with her to get weed. And so we're like, oh, I guess, like,
Right.
because she didn't. I guess she just didn't want to go alone. He wasn't gonna let her, you know. So I just tagged along.
would you want to share?
Sure, why not? But I'm tagging along with him, and so she picks up the weed and starts driving for about 3 blocks, and like we immediately hear sirens, and the cop pulls her over. For like, and he basically said that he could smell weed just from driving behind her.
Right.
So we got pulled over and she got like whatever for it, just
Right.
probably just a fine or something like that. But it's like, if you can smell it through a car just driving behind it, it's got a fucking pretty strong odor.
Oh yeah.
I bought, who the fuck did I get it from?
It's like you almost have to have it in a mason jar or something. Like,
Yeah, I
that's
was just
the
gonna
key.
say, somebody gave me a bunch of weed, and I was telling this story.
Hey, here's a bunch of weed. Hey, Jake,
the
here's a bunch of
fuck
weed.
did
dude.
I get this weed?
weed. Here you go, Jake.
You want a bunch of weed?
Fucked.
It happened last year too, and it was, I met up with a guy, and I bought it. Okay, I met up with my buddy, and I wanted to buy weed to make a bunch of edibles last winter because I had the house to myself for like a week or so, and
Good thinking there.
actually it wasn't. It was actually 2 winters ago, and I bought an 1/8, and he remembered me from somewhere. And we were
He's
hanging
like, I
out and
remember you
stuff.
from somewhere.
I don't. All I
I'm
know
trying
is
to.
that
I'm trying to act out this scenario. You know.
he ended up giving me a quarter instead of an 1/8.
Oh wow.
He's like, if you just throw me an extra like $15, I'll just give you a whole quarter. And I was like, cool. I can't say the guy's name, but he sold me a quarter,
Right.
and I had it. And I remember I had the house to myself, but it was still sketchy. I had it and I wrapped it up in saran wrap. I wrapped the baggie in saran wrap and then threw it in my closet. And I have like this old gun case that it's like the memory foam case.
Yeah.
Right. I remember waking up in the middle of the night. I went downstairs to like get food or whatever. And I came back upstairs and I could literally smell the weed through the baggies, through the case, through my room, all the way at the bottom of the stairs. Like that shit is
It's
potent.
ridiculous.
And like you said, as soon as I put it in a mason jar, nothing.
It's gone. Yeah. Like I mean, that's why I used to not mind getting cheap weed because like it really didn't have a really strong smell to it. But like I still didn't need that much at the time to.
Yeah.
If it was just me, like whatever.
I know.
Just ghost it
College, I
and-
would live off of dime bags. You can't even get a dime bag anymore.
Yeah.
Nah, because like I don't know.
It's not worth it to them, really.
No, Because, like, literally, it's like...
For $10?
Yeah, for $10, or, like, I mean, if you live in Syracuse, are you literally going to pay $20 for literally just a gram of weed?
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it either or, you know, whether you're in a big city or, like, a small town like in Oswego.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
think luckily in college, we were still smoking, like, dirt weed, though. So, and then we had a buddy that, I don't know where he would get it from, but he would get actual, like, 8th baggies that had, like, the strain and stuff on them from a dispensary. And that was awesome.
Right.
And he'd sell those for, like, $50, but it was such better weed than what we had in school that it was worth it. And then dabs became a thing.
Yeah, that's
and
when
now
I retired.
I really only smoke dabs.
Yeah, if I retire at that point.
If I do
that's
smoke,
when the game passed me by.
If I do smoke, I'm only smoking dabs.
Dude, I just thought it was funny. Like, 9 times out of 10 when I would do a dab, it'd also be after, like, literally 5 hours of drinking.
Yeah.
I'd go over to, like, Cass's house or some shit, and he'd fucking force 2 giant dabs to my face, and then he would make fun of me that I'm about to pass out. I'm like, dude, I have, like, 7 of these fucking Jaeger bottles in me right now, and then you fucking want to put, like, literally 100% THC into my face, not once, but, like, twice. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking pass the fuck out.
My weed career is basically Chuck Liddell's fighting career. Like, I'm basically just dominating, and then I retire when the game finally passes me by.
Right.
And then one day, I'm going to come back out of retirement, and I'm going to face Tito Ortiz, which is just dabs. And I'm going to get knocked out.
Not Pecco?
Yeah. And that's when I'm finally going to hang it up.
We smoked once together. Like,
Or Mayweather? Or
like a little over, it was like a year and a half ago. I remember you and I smoked a bowl together. And I remember you took like 2 hits, and then you were like, yep, that's it. And then we hung out for like an hour. And I remember we were like doing shots, and we were still kind of stoned. And I left. And I remember I came back the next day, and I was like, so how was your night? And you're like, dude, I played Madden until like 6:30 in the morning. It's sort of like what happened with you in the show the other day.
Yeah, sometimes you just get into a groove in those games. That's why I kind of don't want to play Skyrim.
Yeah, I saw.
I feel like that's gonna take.
You haven't started it yet?
I've started it. I've gotten through like the opening thing where you see the dragon and all that shit, and then you do a couple.
Have you never played it before?
I've played it. I got through like a decent chunk of it, and then I got stuck, and then stopped playing.
Dude,
I got literally locked in a building.
Oh yeah,
I think it bugged out or something.
I
couldn't like revert.
I only
save.
played Morrowind.
Yeah,
I never played Oblivion.
I have Morrowind on PC.
Oblivion's really good. I have a really soft spot for Skyrim, and maybe it's because it like changed. It was just I liked Oblivion a lot, and then Skyrim came out, and it was a more streamlined, casual Oblivion.
Right.
But I had never played an open world game on console that had graphics like that before.
Right.
And that just blew. I mean, I got it for Christmas. Every year for Christmas, I always get the new Madden and then another game.
Right.
And I remember I didn't even
Skyrim.
open.
You
I
just
didn't
get Skyrim every year.
Yeah, you could probably. I didn't even open Madden until way after Christmas.
Right.
It was like a solid month of playing only Skyrim, like 3 different characters, and then I didn't even touch Madden. It was Madden 12 with Peyton Hillis. The 2011 classic Madden 2012 featuring Cleveland Browns one-hit wonder classic fullback / running back Peyton Hillis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a classic.
Dude, no, but Skyrim can definitely, like, suck away life.
Oh, yeah, man.
Like,
it happened to Wes.
Dude, like,
that's what I'm scared of. I don't want to get too far into it.
Dude, it's so worth it, though. It really is. It's just fun. Like,
I'm certain it is.
It's just like a...
And I mean, I don't know. I used to have fun playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know.
Like, honestly, I feel like Skyrim is kind of just, for me, is kind of just like it's a more personalized dungeon crawler.
Right.
Because that's really all I would do. Like, I would do the quests with the different, like the factions.
Right.
Like the Mage Guild, the Fighter Guild, and the Thieves Guild, the Brotherhood. And then when I would do all that, I wouldn't even do the main storyline. And I would just try to clear every dungeon and do all the side quests. Because that's really where all the fun is.
Right.
And
Yeah, it just seems like a really big game, so I think I would definitely like it. Like I know for a fact I would like it. It's just
Right.
it's just like there's a lot of people that criticize it for, and I do it too, even though I love it. The character building, the story, the lore is kind of far fetched at times. The
that's the
combat
thing
is
I
really
don't care
boring.
too much about it. It's
Like there's
I wanna
people that
just-
are like, well,
I want to just level up and fight shit. and
yeah,
kill dragons.
that's the whole game. It's like there's people like, well, The Witcher 3 is the best RPG ever, and it's like, yeah, it is. I didn't like The Witcher 3, but it is probably the best Western action RPG ever.
Right.
But Skyrim just scratches, like Bethesda games just scratch that itch. Like
Right.
you kind of feel like you're your character.
I mean,
Sure.
it's like I was saying about World of Warcraft. That's if it wasn't for both the art style of how they did like the animations and shit, and like just me being a fan of that kind of like how magical and mystical that fantasy world is.
Yeah.
Like I could really care
Like
less
Game of
about the actual
Thrones.
Warcraft story.
yeah.
You know, like
That's
I
why-
played Warcraft 1, 2, and 3. Like I have a basic knowledge of that shit.
I played 3.
Three
Were
was
they
so-
like real time strategy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played 3.
It's kind of like a Age of Empires shit.
Yeah. My cousin worked for Activision at
Whoa.
the time, and I think he might still work for Activision.
Huh.
But he sent me a box of like a bunch of World of Warcraft shit and Warcraft 3, like t-shirts and all that shit. And that was the first time I ever played Warcraft, and I was like, this is pretty cool. I like this game. And then World of Warcraft came out, and I never really played it. Like I played like the trial or whatever for it.
Yeah. Like there's like the week-long or 10-day trial or something
Yeah.
stupid. Yeah.
And it wasn't the same. Like it's not a real time strategy. It's a
No.
full blown like open world.
MMORPG, yeah.
I really enjoyed WoW. I enjoyed it because I had like Wesley and Christy played, and Anthony and Alex and Frank Strano played, and it was like it was like 2005,
Yeah.
2004. Like there wasn't really anything like that
Right.
at the time for me personally. Like I know a lot of people that have been playing multiplayer games longer than that, but it got to the point where we couldn't afford the subscription.
$15 a month.
Yeah, that was kind of a
And
deterrent
then,
for me too.
When the Burning Crusade came out, my dad was like, no, we're not about to spend $30 to add more to this game that we're already
Right.
spending,
Too much
I
time.
mean, you want to talk about some real nerdy shit? Like, literally, when I went into 7th grade, my parents were like, you either have to cancel your subscription to Shonen Jump, which was like $25 a year, or you cancel your
World of
subscription for
Warcraft.
World of Warcraft. And I was like, I'm not canceling WoW. Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
I'm only level 25. I think I only got to like level like 40, and now the level cap is like 120 or some shit.
Dude, it's stupid.
It is.
Like when
they
I
have to. I think you probably get like a boost when you buy the game now, though, right?
when you buy the
Something
game,
like
you
that.
start out at like level 70 or
Right,
something
yeah.
if you want to.
it's
Maybe not that high.
It's certain
probably
characters.
not.
Like if you play like the Death Knight character, you automatically start at level 60 or 70 or some shit. It's certain classes.
Yeah.
And I know they've added like 4 or 5 specialty classes.
yeah, at a
like
certain
that.
point, it's just overwhelming if you start at 1.
Right.
That's Destiny's doing that too. They're basically saying, hey, like it's going to be free, and then you can jump in and play any of the maps, and it's not going to be super fucking overwhelming. Like you don't have to grind through all the story and all that shit and
Right.
level up to do any of the end game stuff. Which is a move. Like you have to do that at a certain point with those kind of games that keep expanding.
Yeah.
It's like you can't have new players just jump in and have to go through all that grinding.
Right.
It's just not feasible, really.
I'm really, really curious, and I want to really try Final Fantasy 14, the MMO, A Realm Reborn.
Is that the one where it's like kind of modernized and you fucking take selfies of yourself with your fucking
No,
gang?
that's 15. 15's a single player game.
Okay. I have no clue.
I love that game too. I'm a slut for Final Fantasy. You guys both know this.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a fucking filthy, suck on my toes and come in my beard slut for anything Final Fantasy or Square
kink shame
Enix.
you.
Yeah.
He likes
shame
his Final Fantasy.
But they just released a new patch, and there was some guy, and he worked on EverQuest when EverQuest was a thing,
Right.
and then he was poached by Blizzard and worked on WoW, and now he just kind of reviews and does commentary and let's plays of MMOs. And he had this full dissertation about how Final Fantasy 14 is the perfect MMO because you can play it as a single player game, like a Final Fantasy game, but you also have the option to play it in a group.
Sorry,
I couldn't tell if it was like a laugh or a cough.
No,
if you're gonna cough, if you're gonna cough, get out. Did you see that video of Trump going
Yeah,
like,
Shit.
he's like, if you're gonna cough, leave the room, please.
Fuck that guy.
It was like an NBC
that was the
thing
big
or
thing.
some
Was like
shit.
if I could play WoW as a single player game, I would
Right.
still play it because I don't have the capability to get together with a group of people.
Well, that was the reason why I stopped playing it.
Yeah.
Because when I first started playing WoW, the real reason I was playing was because my brother had like 3 or 4 friends that all played it and shit. And of course, they had had it long enough where they already maxed out their characters and shit.
But still, though, like, well, yeah.
And that was the thing, like, I could never keep up. Like,
Yeah.
once the next level cap came out with the next expansion, they would already be at 80, and I'm still working at like 40 or 50 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just said, fuck it.
See, I wish, like, those kind of games, you almost need people that you know to play. As
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Like, that's the thing about Destiny is I want people to play it, but no one plays it. No one that I know, at least.
I even
Right.
bought it. I even bought it and played it for a bit, but
That's why I'm glad that they're doing the free-to-play thing.
yeah, like my
So it's like
Okay.
people can just jump in if they want to
Right.
on any platform.
my attention span for games is. I mean, Wes and I both have.
That's
this,
the thing is it's an investment game. So you have
definitely.
to go, well, this is my character. This is what I'm doing. Like I'm
Yeah.
dedicating time into this character.
Wes and I both.
And then
have
when
this-
you do, you can't leave the game.
yeah, exactly. And once you get to a point, you can't stop.
Yeah, you're like, I've put all this time in.
Yeah.
I can't
Right.
stop playing.
That's why that's how I got legitimately addicted to Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Like, cause I got to like the second highest tier of ranks.
Right.
And was doing private tournaments and betting skins and making money on Steam. And just me and my 4 buddies in college would literally just play Counter-Strike
Yeah.
all day, every day. Like if we didn't have there was one day we took off the day of classes to watch a fucking major tournament.
Oh, shit.
And we fucking piled into my dorm, and it was like the 5 of us and my 2 roommates just ordered a bunch of food, had a bunch of booze, a bunch of weed, and just sat there and watched Catawise 2015. And it was cool because all 5 of us in my team all had different teams that we rooted for.
Right.
So like,
Yeah. I remember
But-
when Halo was big, I
Yeah.
had some teams that I would like actually would follow.
I'm so far removed from that, and like I have a couple buddies like Sam and Dan and Sam's friend, I don't know what his name is, Connor
Sam
or
2.
something. Sam 2.
Sam
But, like,
to the Reckoning.
They all just started playing Counter-Strike, and I got back into it for a bit, and it got to the point where it was like, dude, I have work at 5:30. I'm staying up until 1 a.m. to play Counter-Strike. Like, I can't be doing this anymore. But the problem is, like, one game, like, I'll have one wicked good game at, like, 9 p.m. and I'll be
Right.
like, oh, let's keep going.
Yeah.
I'll get the ball
Dude,
rolling.
I had
and then all
that
of a
so
sudden-
much with Rocket League because I used to
Yeah.
play with Gary all the
Yeah.
time, and we'd stay up too late because we were on a roll.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we can't, and then we couldn't leave on a loss.
No.
so
Yeah.
so we had to keep playing.
And like Wes and I have this thing, we do it all the time where we'll get super into a game and play it not like Mordhau.
Yeah.
We just started playing that again the other night, but we literally put between the 2 of us like 40 or 50 hours into this game in 2 weeks while we're both working as much as we do.
Right.
Like Wes and I both work 50 hours or so a week.
Yeah,
and then we were
easily.
also playing this game for like 20 hours a week.
Right.
And you never get to jerk off. So then when you finally do, it's awesome.
Busting mad
um,
loads.
And like it's funny, like certain games, it's like riding a bike. Like
You're hitting the
Mordhau,
ceiling and shit.
right? Boom!
It's like a shotgun blast.
Like Mordhau has the combat system where depending on the angle your mouse is at is the angle of your strike, and every
Okay.
weapon has a different.
Oh,
attacks.
I didn't know it does that.
Yeah.
Wait, so how does it know what angle
when
your
you're
mouse is
when
at?
you're when you have your mouse, you have your actual like camera movement. That's gone again.
That's fucked.
But you have this little like compass on your crosshair that tells you what swing you're about to do.
Right.
And if you do like a left mouse button, it goes with the compass. Right mouse button's away.
Oh, okay.
The scroll wheel, the mouse 4, mouse 5, the click. Like there's like the combat system is insane. It'd be insane. Like Mark and I played Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yep. No, I know what you're talking
It's
about.
like that combat system in a PvP game.
Oh.
Yeah, I want to try it. It's just too expensive right now.
And
I wish it was. I wish it was on
That's
sale.
fucked.
it's crazy. And once you get good at it, it's like crack.
Okay, so there's a fucking... I don't think it's come out yet. It's not Neo, but it's a game similar to that where you're in literally feudal Japan, and apparently the combat system is like the best combat system for any like game like that.
It's not Sekiro, is it?
Sekiro is the one.
Because Sekiro was a FromSoft. Oh
Yeah.
no, because
I don't think it's come out yet.
No. They're
I think it was teased last year's E3.
I think I know what you're talking
I know
about.
it's like
I've only seen like a 1 minute clip of it. It's like a fucking samurai guy and he fucks up like 3 or 4 other samurai guys.
Yeah.
But it's not Neo, and I don't think it's the game that you Sekiro.
is it Samurai Showdown?
No, I think I told you to download that game.
It's not Ninja.
Oh yeah,
Gaiden.
that was the. I did download that.
Dude, they
one.
should bring back Ninja Gaiden.
but they're
dude.
remaking Samurai Showdown.
Yeah,
But it's
I
not
don't think
bad?
it. No. But I heard that remake is actually really good.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Maybe.
It says
Tsushima.
new open
It's all
world
about-
samurai game E3 2019.
I think that's it.
And yes,
That's the one right there.
I think that might be it.
I think we found it.
but yeah,
Possibly.
Mordhau is crazy because it runs off. It runs off.
We don't know yet.
It runs off of Unreal
just go with
Engine
that.
4.
Fuck.
So the gore is crazy. Like you can have like a mace, and if you hit them just right and you kill them, you'll literally just put a dent in their head.
Yeah.
And like you can have Wes and I have this class where we just have spears, like short spears, and we whip them.
Okay.
And like you throw them.
Javelins. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
We do this class where we all just have stones, like big stones, and we run around and we pelt. We did it with Zamaya and Joe Motika the other day, where we just teamed up and formed a 4-man wall and just whipped stones at people. They only do 20 damage a throw.
Yeah, but if you team shot them,
You fuck them up with stones.
Oh, I bet.
And there was one guy, like we were pelting him and he ran away and he jumped off a ledge and I threw a stone at him and it arced perfectly and hit him in the back of the head and the momentum just had him like fucking cartwheel down this
my
cliff.
God.
And he raged in the text chat and then dipped out of the game immediately.
yeah.
Not surprising.
But it's
Called it
so
quits.
funny. Yeah, I mean, Wes and I did that. We did that with Rust, like The Forest. He played like 500 hours of Dead by Daylight. I never played Dead by Daylight, but he
don't
played it
think
a
I know that
shit
one
ton,
either.
and he had
I
like
didn't do
he has
that
like
either.
500 or 600 hours in that game and hasn't touched it.
Huh.
I did that with Left 4 Dead and Team Fortress, where
Dude,
you just like
both
get
Left 4 Dead games
Oh,
were
fuck yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
but you just like get into that groove.
Except for we tried to play Left 4 Dead like a month ago, and we were like, "Oh my god, we're so bad at this!" Because everyone that plays it is still still playing it, like
Right.
they're actually good at it.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
And then we're just people who like hop into a random game,
Right.
and we get absolutely raped.
Left 4
On
Dead
no
2 was
mercy
great
in
with,
the
like-
first chapter.
Oh,
We
it was-
completely
and
get
we
demolished.
dipped. I remember I just quit the game.
Yeah, you were like, "I'm done with this."
Yeah,
Fuck,
I'm
why
like,
did I
I'm not
install-
staying up any longer. I have work in the morning.
Fuck.
I was pissed. Well, because we
What are you gonna do? Dude?
we
It's
warmed
like-
up in like a campaign. We warmed up in a campaign level, and we were fine. And then we were like, let's just do verses. And we got shit stomped on the zombie team. And then when we switched to the human team,
We weren't
got-
even out of the like
we weren't even out of the
safe
beginning
room.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, like No Mercy when you have to fight your way to the hospital.
Right.
You know
We
how
were,
you
like,
start out in the
barely out
apartment
of it.
building? We
Yeah.
didn't even leave the apartment building. We got killed in like the first 2 minutes of the game.
Right.
And,
There's like you're like in a spitter's like acid, and there's a hunter on you, and then a charger fucking rapes you. It's like
It's
Jesus
so bad.
Christ.
yeah, dude, it was dangerous.
I bet.
I remember Anthony was like, Anthony's the best Left 4 Dead player I've ever seen. He was actually the part of the first 4-man team that ever got a perfect score in versus mode,
Holy shit.
where they, or it was the closest to a perfect score ever in versus mode, because they beat the entire level. And nobody died, and between the 4 people in the whole campaign, they only took like 30 points of damage.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was part of this thing. It was like the Left 4 Dead 8,000 club, and an 8,000 is when everybody survives and nobody gets to yellow health. So nobody
Right.
takes more than like 20 points of damage or 30. And yeah, they ended up winning basically with everybody taking like one swipe. And
That's pretty crazy.
it was fucking insane.
it's really like
I'm surprised there wasn't like, if Left 4 Dead came out now, I feel like there'd be a big competitive scene because the game is so...
It's balanced pretty well.
Yeah.
As far as like being infected or like survivors.
Right.
But there's a completely different strategy to both. Like you have to group up as the survivors, but also not be too close because one thing can fuck up multiple people if you're close together. And then as the infected, it's like each class is a little bit different and they play in a different way. So you have to know how to use all of those different classes. In the first one, there was only 3 different things, I think. There was the boomer, the hunter, and the smoker. Smoker.
Wait, there wasn't the witch and the charger?
There was a witch.
You couldn't play
and
as
a
the
tank.
witch. Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, the
but
tank
like,
yeah.
you know, in the second one, they had like the spitter and the charger and
The jockey.
The jockey.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you got to kind of know the way that those play and how to use them. Like the jockey can pull people away from the group and shit. So if you get somebody who's like just around a corner, that's when you grab onto them and pull them into like a building or something.
Right.
There's a lot of different ways to play it. It's a great game.
The thing is the meta, because the game was so popular, the meta is so ingrained. Like, it's almost just like luck in a way, it feels like. There's definitely a ton of skill involved, but it definitely feels like a lot of the game is luck. Like, you have to get this group of infected at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like if the witch is like blocking a doorway or something that you have to go through, you're kind of fucked.
I mean, I downloaded a mod that made it so you could do verses against the AI, and it makes the AI beefed up a little bit.
That's cool.
Oh, well,
Okay, Freddie Mercury over here.
yeah.
Pulls the mic stand.
Not what I meant to do, but okay. It's all good. We're good here. Goosenecking it.
He's going to start singing Queen songs.
As long as it's Sweet Lady or 39. Anything off of Day at the Races.
Oh, yeah.
I think I have a good knowledge of how those lyrics are.
Yeah. I don't have no reference of how long this has been.
Well,
I
it's
think
almost 9 o'clock.
yeah, but I think the second part we've only been going on for about 40
Over an
minutes.
hour, yeah. Well, I don't
Maybe.
it's like an hour.
Okay.
So
Yeah, c'est la vie.
I guess that's it. We'll wrap it up. And, let's see. So I made some changes to the website last night. I finally talked to Google about like getting our actual website in the address bar.
You talked to the Google.
Yeah, I talked to the Google. I talked to some guy named Tin in like an
Tim
instant
Google,
messenger
actually.
chat. So we got that all set up. And I also have a social media page. So you can go to clearshotspodcast.com/follow. It shows you all of our Instagram photos.
Cool.
Shows us all of our tweets and all that stuff. So you don't even have to follow us if you don't want to. You can just check that out.
Right.
And then clearshotspodcast.com for /episodes brings you like to all of the fucking, it'll give you all the video episodes and everything right from there.
That's
so
all you
people don't
need.
even need to get podcast apps anymore, dude. Just go to our website.
Yeah.
That's all you ever need. You never need to listen to any other podcast.
No. I mean, why would you want to?
Why would you
If
want
you're
to?
deranged enough to be listening to this one, you're
Right.
kind of locked in, I think.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
It's like, some people want to know about like how long people can last when their friends are jerking them off. And some people
I'd
wanna
say
know,
about
like,
5 minutes.
And some people want to know when 300 came out.
yeah. And
2006.
7, but yeah, you were close.
we always say 6 and it's 7. We always say
We
6.
always
now.
say 6. I don't know why, but I feel like it was 2006 at one point.
I feel like at one point
It's like
when
Berenstein Bears.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
Berenstain.
That's what I said
but-
the other night. I
it
said
came
was
out
a
on New Year's
Mandela
Eve
effect.
New Year's Eve of 06.
on a leap year.
Yeah.
Like that makes any
It
difference.
doesn't make any difference.
No,
at
it
all.
doesn't.
But it's funny. That's all that
We're going to
matters.
be doing some more Clear Shots plays,
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some of
trying to
that.
coordinate. I might do one when I get home, depending on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Maybe, baby. As
Probably
long as
not,
the
though.
Samurai Showdown.
Yeah. Do Samurai Show.
though.
Do World
Probably
of
not.
Warcraft. So anyway, we'll see you guys next week. ClearShotsPodcast.com is where you'll find links to everything we do. You can check us out on Twitter at ClearShotsPod. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and check us out on Periscope for live videos. If you have anything you want to ask us, send us an email at clearshotspodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. We will see you next time.